My wife can't stop throwing away her stuff. I'm getting tired of it.
Sounds like you're about to move into a van.
My wife channels Marie Kondo and throws out things that she doesn't like when she goes on her cleaning sprees. The problem is that she will throw out things that are important to me or would be used by our daughter, 3 female, if offered. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Soul and Sapphic, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit.
This is the opposite of a hoarder.
Yeah, she's just like, toss.
Honestly,
Not that bad.
Yeah. I would do this when I was really little.
Mm.
I would just toss a bunch of things. I was like, I have to get rid of stuff. Anyway, among other things, this is very frustrating because I have had to rebuy many things. I discovered that she did this early in our relationship after a few too many things were disappearing. Since then, I have practically begged her to talk to me before throwing out things, like putting them in a box for me to go through or something like that. Instead, she will throw things away and lie to me that she did not throw anything away. When I go through the trash and find all of the things she threw away, she'll tell me she doesn't think they mattered, and so they didn't count. In my situation, it was just my stuff, not other people's stuff.
It might not matter to you.
That's crazy.
But, that's my PlayStation 5, man.
One man's trash is another man's treasure. Haven't you ever heard of that? Each time this happens, I've told her how bad this makes me feel and how it feels disrespectful and controlling to make these decisions about our things without discussing it with me first. This is something I've made very, very clear how much this upsets me to not have autonomy over my own possessions. She doesn't do these purges terribly often. I'd say only a few times a year. I'm definitely messier than her and probably keep things that I don't really need, but I'm a team player. Follow her lead about how she likes the house and far from a hoarder. If she puts things in a trash bag that she wanted to get rid of, I would acquiesce to throwing out most of it.
Honeybee says she has OCD.
That's what I'm thinking that's a possibility. But I feel like a really easy solution is that she puts all of the things that she wants to get rid of and then just says, hey, look through all of this. Is there anything you want to keep?
But it probably bothers her to have it in a box and seeing it all unorganized. Like, I must get it away.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying right before she throws it out, she's like, go check.
I see.
We otherwise have a very good and close relationship, and I love her deeply. Yesterday, she cleaned up the house, again promising that she didn't throw anything away. For some reason, I believed her this time, and just so happened to notice bags of things she was throwing out when I was taking out the trash. It included toys that our daughter might like, but she's too young for. What? It included something I made for our daughter that she loves and is very important to me. She threw away disposable things that I would have had to buy again. She threw away some of my clothes that I wear regularly that she doesn't like, but knows I don't want to get rid of.
What if hers is she getting rid of?
Yeah. It took me a long time to dig through the trash and return these things to their spots. Internally, I feel like I'm losing my mind. It's not the stuff, it's the trust. She knows how I feel about this, did it anyway, and covered it up by lying again. This is probably going to come across as melodramatic, but it feels like a betrayal and violation of the trust and faith I put in her, almost equivalent to finding out she was cheating on me.
Wait,
Not.
Well, I don't know if that's really equivalent.
I mean, it's not equivalent, but I do understand that OP's saying, she's lying to me. I asked her not to do this. She said she promised she wouldn't, and then did it anyway, which is not cheating.
Getting cheated on once. Let's see, getting kissed at a club versus I feel like every item getting thrown away, it stacks up over a period of time. Like every item, let's say getting kissed out at a club is 100 points.
Yeah.
And then every item being thrown away is half a point.
Mm-hmm.
At a time.
At a certain amount, it adds up. Yeah. Not that it's the same degree or equivalent, but I have similar feelings of violation and loss of trust of the type that I've felt when I've been cheated on before. Okay. So he's like, I'm coming with receipts.
Yeah, because one, you have to buy this stuff. And we just read a story where this guy spent $300,000 and the girl was like, it's probably better off that he cheated on me than did this. Because, I mean, money is protecting in a way because it's protecting your future. So if you're always having to buy stuff,
it's frustrating. And also just the emotional kind of ties that you have to objects. If people, if someone took any of my books away, because people place less value on my books than obviously I do. And
she gets one book thrown into a pool.
I have never gotten one of my friends I lent her a book and she accidentally dropped it in a pool, and I have never loaned out my books ever again. Except recently, I was like, maybe I should trust again because someone asked to borrow a book, and I was like, okay. And she returned it, and it was a little bit banged up, and it was kind of ripped.
Is it who I think it is?
No.
Okay, never mind.
And I was a little bit.
What is a little bit banged up for?
Well, it was like
it
it had like a tear.
In one page?
I have on the cover.
Oh boy.
You see, this is why I feel OP's pain, because you guys are like, that's so silly, but I'm like, my books are in pristine condition.
Dang, it's like you can't even buy a new one if it really is.
No, because I have emotional attachments to my books.
I have so many thoughts about this.
Me too.
Talking to my wife about this has not been effective at all. I'm having difficulty getting over the perceived betrayal of my trust. I have no idea what to do to move past this and regain the trust and closeness that I feel was lost. Edit, what a response. Thank you all for affirming my feelings about this. I respect and appreciate the comments, even if I think many are too harsh on my wife. While I agree her behavior shows a fundamental lack of respect for me and my autonomy, you all can't know what happens 99.9% of the rest of the year. For clarification, some of the things she throws out could qualify as clutter, though I would say most of it is stuff that is where it is supposed to be. Edit 2. She is not throwing away things that are obviously valuable, like a game console or something like that, which I think one of you guys made a joke about that. I can generally understand the logic for throwing away the things that she does. Some of the things she throws away, I really think she should know better, though. Unused packages of CBD gummies. Ooh, those could be pricey, right? I don't know.
I don't know either. Dakota?
Dakota?
I mean, I
Could this be
guess.
Come on, you know.
With CBD gummies, I don't buy those.
But do you know how much they are?
I mean, like,
No. Paul Christian.
Partially full container of kerosene, containers of super glue. Edit 3, to reiterate, this isn't a messiness thing. Well, at least not completely. I recognize that I am messier than her and have to put in a special effort. Pause, everyone. We're finding out how much CBD gummies
Hey, Christian, how much is like a package of CBD gummies that you buy? Oh, wow. Thank you. How many are there? Might be less. How many are there in the $30 ones?
Well, it depends on like the dosage. Why?
High dosage.
It's like 10.
Okay.
10, it's like 10, and each one has 10 milligrams.
And then how many are in there?
What?
10.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So, $30 for 10 of a dosage of 10.
Ooh. Okay, so that's pretty.
you guys are focusing on the
Money.
gummies. I'm focusing on who throws away super glue.
That's also true.
Who has well?
I have super glue.
Everybody has a tube of super glue somewhere.
I do. I have.
Who has
I have
me?
a scrapbook.
But I'm not a slob or a hoarder or anything else that might provide some justification for throwing away things. She isn't throwing away things I leave out. She's throwing away things that she doesn't think I need. Most of the things she throws away are in their appropriate spot when they are thrown out. Edit 4. She doesn't actually watch Marie Kondo. That was just me explaining that she likes to get rid of clutter by getting rid of things that take up space. And there is an update. But do you have any thoughts before we get into the update about what OP can do?
Like we say all the time, communicate. So I think your wife has one train of thought, you have another train of thought, and these train of thoughts need to correlate.
I think we just need to find a middle ground. I think you need to go to her, which you have been. You've been saying, hey, please stop doing this. But I think we need to say, like,
what's the why?
Well, yeah, why do you feel the need to, do this without consulting me? And then maybe the compromise is, okay, you can collect all the things that you think we need to get rid of, but let me look through it. Let me double check that it isn't anything that I'm still using or have an attachment to.
Amy Lynn says therapy for both of them.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say some couples therapy.
Yeah.
Because that's really frustrating to have, like, he said there was a sentimental item in here for, that he gave to his daughter. So, she might not be throwing out things that are expensive, but she's throwing out things that are priceless.
It's the why for me. Like Riley said, it's like I think maybe, OP said something about like communication hasn't worked, but I feel like maybe it's the method of communication.
I
like,
agree.
maybe instead of being like, hey, don't do this, or why are you doing this, or I don't like you doing this, you should be like, hey, how are you feeling right before you think you need to do this?
Yeah.
Like, what's happening to you that makes you go, all right, this stuff's gone, all of it's gone now.
Which a lot of people are saying OCD, which that like is a possibility.
Right.
Yeah. But let's get into
Work
this update.
backwards.
Update. She has been extra sweet to me since the day before yesterday, clearly knowing that I was upset with her. I talked with her last night. I had written her a letter which I wrote expressing how I felt to make sure my feelings were clearly and seriously expressed. I procrastinated handing it to her, and she saw how distraught I was and instigated a conversation before I handed it to her. She seemed to believe what upset me was that she had taken away a desk and pushed all of my things to a smaller desk. What? She took away a desk?
A whole desk?
What is going on?
Taking away the area for me to do my art there to make more room for our child's things. She took away your desk?
And then she made room for your child's things that she's actively throwing away. What is she making room for?
Oh, also, I
Is she-
believe OP is woman.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've been referring to
Is she a
her as
woman?
woman. I think so.
Keon, Dakota Bot.
Keon bot.
Yeah, she a MF.
MF? Yeah, it's a guy.
That's just the best gender neutral way to refer to anybody.
No, is OP a male or female?
I believe yes, it's female.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Famale. Two famales.
Okay, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
OP is a woman.
Famale.
Sorry if we...
We have been misgendering OP this whole time.
Everybody has pronouns. I don't. You will refer to me only by my name, Shadow the Hedgehog.
And we are
My
now
bad.
taking accountability.
And fourth, as we go forward.
During
Sorry.
Pride?
It's just one letter
Yeah,
we just
that's
don't
true.
see.
Yeah.
And usually it's
Well, it wasn't.
yeah,
It wasn't in the story, but it was in her username.
got it.
All right. continue.
So this makes me think she's building a tunnel below her house and is making room for all the debris from the tunnel. Because she cannot
I thought you were
rent
giving a
out,
freaking real answer.
He is though, because I know exactly what he's talking about.
because you cannot rent a big garbage container for more than 2 weeks at a time without people asking questions. So she's probably finding ways to hide all the
Okay.
rock debris in her house.
For everyone out of the loop, he's referencing like a TikTok creator who's building a random like cave under her house, and she's an engineer and she's documenting the whole process.
Oh, that's cool.
It's not cool because
It's-
she
Oh.
doesn't have any like
Permits?
city permits or like.
That's not cool.
Wait, no, she does.
No, she
There
doesn't.
are,
does?
there are reasons
No,
why
she
you should not
doesn't.
be doing that. They're also it's probably illegal.
Dude,
Yeah.
an
My mom
engineer
is an
can't
architect, and
engineer.
I don't-
What are we talking about?
Well,
yeah.
I hope she's got permits.
And it's probably illegal because there are many tunnels underneath all of the city substructs. So that's why the government doesn't want you to know.
The government
there are
doesn't want you to
sewer
find the lizard
systems.
tunnels.
You know,
Anyway.
I actually, sorry, I am going to go on one more side tangent about this. You know the device that they used to see if the pyramids had tunnels? I just want to use that on major cities to see if there are any other tunnels below it.
Probably.
Like, why can't we just do it there, you know?
There's probably tons of tunnels.
I know.
There's like tons of, like subway
why-
stations that like in New York, how they have subway
But
stations.
just
that are
subway
not-
you don't think there's any other tunnels other than subway stations?
No, I'm saying there probably are that are no longer are in use. But that's just like city building.
I asked Sophia the other week, hey, if I gave you a 9/11 PowerPoint, would you listen to me? And she said yes.
No, okay, I said if I can create my own.
Yeah. So we're both going to make 9/11
Okay,
things.
so first of all, the Porsche 911 Carrera
Okay.
GT is one of the
I
best
had talked with her
automobiles ever
last
made.
night.
Fifth plane.
While I'm not like super happy about that, I told her that wasn't what was bothering me. I explained how it hurt me that she knew that I don't like her throwing things away, and she did it again anyway.
Another one.
I explained how she'd thrown away art and other things that really upset me, which is a great point because OP's an artist. And like for someone to throw away a person's creations is really messed up. She told me that she hadn't realized that, for example, the chessboard that I had made was not a piece of junk because she only saw the underside of it. This is an epoxy chessboard that I spent many hours painting and preparing. A lot of art, depending on people's medium, can look kind of like junk
Yeah.
to some people.
Yeah.
You can't just throw it away.
Yeah.
Just- yeah.
I knew this one person I used to live with, and like they would just get together with their friends and just like say these things in a group setting over and over and over, and it was like kind of seemed like garbage. But then they made like hosted people at this event thing, and then did it in front of people, and it was actually great.
I was trying to figure out how this was related to me.
It is because your group would be saying
Oh,
crap
my
things
sketch?
together. Yeah. Haha.
There you go. While it's a little bent, it is gorgeous and the time I put into it shows. I told her that she shouldn't even be making those judgment calls because she keeps making these kinds of mistakes. She then got a bit defensive, saying that I should have cleaned up the clutter already because I had talked about tidying up my desk. I agreed that I need to be better about it, but this argument doesn't make any sense because none of the things that she threw away came from my desk. They came from my nightstand, my clothes drawer, my closet, a separate closet. And I told her that. I hope her statement was just something said defensively without really thinking about it because the logic behind it has some bad implications. If she got rid of my things in my non-desk areas because of a messy desk, that means she got rid of things in non-desk areas as some kind of revenge. Even if this had anything to do with the desk, I told her that she should at least warn me before she goes through the purge. While I know that she shouldn't have to ask me to keep things tidy to her standards, the least she could have done was tell me to address it before she starts getting rid of things.
Okay, so OP is standing up for herself, saying, "This is where I'm at. This is what
These are
I
my
need
boundaries." Yeah. No, I think that's absolutely fair to say, hey, you can tell me to clean up my mess, but tell me. Don't just like delete all of it. I told her if this was really about clutter, she should leave it in a box for me to go through. She told me that I had gotten mad at her in the past because she had done that. I remember no such incident, but I told her that even if I had gotten upset about that, which doesn't make any sense because that is what I keep asking her to do, why would it be worse than throwing out the things without asking me? She told me that I should keep my things in my closet or the garage because those are my areas. All her clothes too? The super glue? Your child's sentimental toys? Like, that doesn't even make sense. Then I asked her if I have to keep all of my clothes in the garage too. Also, she had taken things from my closet, the alleged safe space. She said that she had only taken a shirt that was stained and shorts that I had agreed to get rid of. That just wasn't true. There were several shirts, pajama shorts, and a tank top that she threw away without stains.
So why is she lying?
Why the you lying?
She's lying. Well, I feel like she wants to do this, and so she's just going to make up whatever to prove her point. She's like, oh, no, I wanted to get rid of this, so here are all of the excuses to why it's actually okay. And actually, you said I could do it. And Opie's like, I never said that.
We
Just
just need to
making
get to
things
the
up.
feeling. We need to get to the emotional core that is causing this behavior to pop up like,
Mhm.
you know,
What
1%
trauma?
out of the year.
What trauma causes for
Yeah.
you?
Amy Lynn says, I'm telling you, she has OCPD and thinks it should be her way. Also, the jean shorts that she said I had agreed to get rid of was not true. I told her that I needed to get new shorts because I've been losing weight, but I don't have the replacement shorts yet. If I had been ready to get rid of them, I didn't need her help. Throwing out those shorts would have left me with only one pair of shorts that fit me. I know that she has a tendency to be a bit defensive and say things without thinking too much when she feels like she's being attacked, but she will usually ruminate on things later and address things more reasonably after taking the time to digest the issues. Normally, I try to give her a little space when she gets defensive like that so that she has time to reflect. However, it made me very angry that she kept trying to defend her actions, which were clearly bad, with arguments that did not make any sense. Though I've previously called her out on breaking her promises not to throw my things away, I had never called her out on her lying. I got upset and asked her why she keeps lying to me about it. If the things she is saying are true, she didn't really respond. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, before we get into that, we see a pattern. It's a loop. I like how OP, I feel like we're about to the circle is about to.
Well, I think OP is doing a great job at standing her ground and being like, no, that's not true. Like, you can't gaslight me because I know that's not true. And then she's finding all of these holes in her wife's story.
But it seems like this part right here is about to.
Yeah,
We're about to get some insight.
I agree. She didn't really respond. I kept to myself the rest of the night. I cried a lot. She kept being extra sweet to me. While she might be acting like she had realized she's in the wrong and said that she would set aside things she wants to throw away first, she never actually apologized or expressed remorse. She didn't say that she wanted to earn my trust back. By the way, you can earn our trust if you listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
I'm going to be infuriated if we do not get some sort of illusion here.
Me too. And I'm worried that we won't.
Well, I think that the core of this is that I think OP's partner is probably dealing with, like Chad is saying, some kind of OCD or some kind of compulsion that maybe even she herself doesn't fully grasp, but it's like a feeling. And so when you press her, she's not going to admit it because she
just probably doesn't even understand it fully.
She can't admit to it. It's like, it'd be like admitting, like, I don't know, that you're just like wrong as a person, because that's how she probably feels about it, is that's just her.
Mm-hmm.
So therapy.
Please.
Therapy.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit left. It makes me think she still doesn't understand how devastating to me it is that I cannot trust her anymore. I'm not satisfied with this results, and I'm going to push hard for couples therapy, as has been discussed in the comments. Contrary to some of the other comments, I adamantly believe that this is not worth destroying our marriage about and raising our daughter in a broken home for. I don't think we're at divorce right now. If this is something that happens like maybe 3 times a year, this is absolutely not divorce worthy. It is absolutely something that needs to be addressed, though.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That said, her reaction / response, or lack thereof, to being told how upsetting it is that she keeps lying to me is an enormous red flag. If she doesn't care about regaining my trust, then I don't think we have a marriage to save. And I think this is just like, you got to keep having those conversations and get like a mediator involved.
Because I had a family member once that like went through a relapse because a death in the family, and then usually around that same time of year, they're like kind of like that pattern will pick up. I feel like there's something in your wife's childhood or past that keeps coming up every few times of year.
Mm-hmm.
You guys need to talk through, and once you're able to find that out, you'll be able to have a breakthrough. Once you have that breakthrough, I don't see why this can't work.
Right. Yeah. It's just it's one breakthrough away.
Yeah.
That was a really good observation, because I feel like a lot of people have those things where it's like when you get around to a certain time of year, it's like stuff starts coming up because like that's just around the time that it happened to you.
Yeah.
So, but it's all in the emotions for sure, I would say.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Don't.
Agreed.
No need to divorce unless like
No.
there's no solution at all. And you've tried legit
like,
everything.
let's try everything before we do that.
Yes.
I told my husband he's dead weight. Now he won't talk to me. I, 34 female, have been with my husband, 37 male, we'll call him Nathan, for 8 years. Ever since our daughter, 3 female, was born, I have been unable to trust Nathan with anything, no matter how small. By the way, this comes from Intrepid by 3152 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, background context. When I was 19, a semi-truck driver fell asleep at the wheel and turned my car into scrap metal with me inside it. I have enough metal hold me together that I light up like a Christmas tree for the TSA and am physically impaired with good days and bad days.
Oh, that's really hard.
Oh. I used a portion of my settlement check to buy a house outright and have it retrofitted to accommodate my needs, and I'll eventually require a wheelchair. I work in software development and it's fun, and nobody cares if I work from bed on bad days. My husband has not worked in 5 years, which has been fine until our daughter was born. Between the settlement money, a paid off house, and my salary, I enjoyed having him there with me. He contributed by handling most of the domestics. We pay for a weekly cleaner with monthly deep cleaning because it gave us more time together. Sounds like everything's going well. I mean, stay-at-home husband vibes. Ever since our daughter was born, it was like a light switch turned off in his head. For our daughters, he would buy the wrong size diaper, not fully mix bottles, put diapers on backwards, leave out poop-covered wipes, forget to latch cabinets. This past week, he has gone to the store 3 times because he keeps coming home with the wrong size socks and shoes for her. I eventually just ordered the right ones on Amazon. I'm thinking maybe
He's might be exhausted.
or brain thing.
Brain thing.
He might have a brain thing. Also, I've been forgetting words recently, and I feel like I need to get my brain checked out.
I don't know. I do that all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's an ADD.
Maybe. Anyway, for me, he has tried to help me with my weekly pill organizer, fill up, and several times has spilled the contents of new medications all over the floor. Then, not seeing that he didn't get all of them off the floor, he's repeatedly bought me grapefruit juice to take my medications with. A huge no. He has repeatedly forgotten that I can't have dairy and puts milk in my coffee or cheese on a burger. He has broken so many things of mine from being careless. He shattered my laptop because it slipped out of his hand when he tried to pack it for a trip. Honestly, I feel like he's doing all of the nice things.
Yeah, I think maybe he needs give him a day off.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's either exhausted or his brain is not working.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's 50% of the way there, and then his brain's just like, new.
I'm worried he
Yeah.
has like a tumor or something.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about. Put I see you in the chat if you see
No,
what's coming.
just because she said it happened right after the daughter was born.
Yeah.
So I am thinking
Oh, maybe he's just exhausted.
yeah.
Even after I said I would pack my own electronics. We've lost so many spoons and forks to the disposal. He tried to replace the head gasket in my car and over-torqued the engine bolt, which shattered the inside block, and 2 different shops said they couldn't repair it. All these things are like, he's trying to help
Yeah. But making it
Her-
so much worse.
and just making it so much
Yeah.
worse.
Josephine Madola-Berquise and Katie Lynn both said weaponized incompetence. Also, thank you for
I don't
27
think so.
sec. The only reason why I don't think it is weaponized incompetence is because OP specifically said before the baby he was perfect. Like he was
Yeah.
very helpful and very competent.
No, that's definitely not. He's working and barely doing anything
No,
for
he's
the
not
kid.
working. Was
He's
did we
he's not
establish?
working and barely doing anything for the kid, whilst she works and has to do the things he failed.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
think
it's an
that's true.
issue, but I'm the only reason why I'm like I don't think this is what I think. There's something else going on.
I don't
is
think
because
it's
she said it was a
intentional.
big switch.
I don't think it's intentional, and also something I'm noticing too. Everything that he's effing up is him trying to do something nice
Yeah,
for the family. It's not usually
yeah, I
for
think there's some sort of
him.
issue.
I think he's being run ragged. Could be ADHD. He's trying to be nice but not executing correctly, but he was doing things good beforehand. I think
Yeah.
there's something off. There's something off.
Yeah, I agree. Only because I feel like in a lot of the stories where it is weaponized incompetence, the husband or the partner was doing it beforehand. Too.
Yeah. I don't
Like,
think
this
this
was
is
a
it.
pattern. Like this, it seems like a huge.
We ended up having to get a new vehicle because the replacement engine would have costed $11,000. A week later, he crashed the new car into the garage door because he thought he'd press the brakes, not the accelerator.
This is so much more than weaponized incompetence.
He wanted to do TikToks and streaming as a hobby. I supported him initially, but I quickly noticed a pattern. Anything regarding our daughter or me, he was sloppy and careless. He never whoopsied his own stuff. He would build entire sets to stream or make videos with, leave the garage, and leave his brain in the garage. Came to a head 4 nights ago. He streamed himself building a new set piece, 9 hours straight. Meanwhile, I worked, clocked out early to pick up our daughter from summer camp, cooked, fed both of us, got her ready to bed. He came out to help, put her to bed. I let him know that I needed to get some work done and would be in my office, and I asked him to take the trash out. He said he will. 2 hours later, I left my office and the house felt really warm. He'd taken the trash out, but left the front door partially open and was back in the garage with his game volume really loud. I panicked since our daughter is able to get out of bed and thankfully she was sound asleep, but she could have easily toddled right out of the house and he wouldn't have noticed. Then I noticed the stovetop burner was on with a small pot on it and nothing inside. I didn't use the stovetop for cooking that night. Dude, hey, maybe it's not weaponized incompetence, but this needs to be addressed.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is bad.
dangerous.
This is bad.
I think it needed to be addressed. Like
Belle Congan says, oh no, F that divorce. I don't know if I would divorce over that.
I think it is a conversation where you say, hey, you've been, making a lot of mistakes that are dangerous, that are putting your life in danger, our daughter's life in danger.
I once dated someone who was like super like absent-minded, very smart, but very absent-minded. And it was pretty frustrating.
Yeah.
I remember like she like did a nice, again, it was nice things that she was doing. She did a nice thing, got us tickets to Hawaii, but then like didn't check what COVID tests we needed. And then we got turned away at the border. It was a nice thing. Honestly, I put it on me. I'm like, I should have been involved in the planning process, but it was small things like that, which it feels like he's doing too. Is like trying to do nice things, but falling short. And it's like, I don't want to like put blame on that.
Yeah.
But also like you're a team and you need to work on things together.
Yeah.
You
Duchess Kasana says it's normal incompetence.
It's normal incompetence. It's funny. Well, I pop my head in the garage and I say, hey, I need you for a minute. I informed him of the door situation and he responds, I thought I locked it. We checked the camera and no, he did not. I asked about the burner being on and he said he was planning to make ramen and forgot. He pulled the still pot off the burner and put it straight into the sink on top of our daughter's favorite plastic plate, which is now ruined. I'll admit, I overreacted and screamed, what are you doing? He realized what he'd done and pulls the pot off our daughter's plate and straight onto the countertop. I grab it quickly and run it underwater to cool it down. I tell him I can't tonight. I can't deal with him. I'm taking my meds and going to sleep. He gets a cup from the cupboard and sets it straight down on the burner that he'd been on. I hit my limit. I started crying. He kept saying that it was fine. Things happen. It's just an accident. He's had a rough day from streaming. He's just tired.
Understandable.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta have.
You don't know how hard you work streaming.
When you work like 3 10-hour streams in a row, it gets heavy. It gets hard.
It gets heavy.
Why am I crying? It's just a cup. We can replace it. The anger hit and I said, it's because I have a liability and not a partner. He said, what the F did that mean? I screamed that it's because I can't trust him to do anything, that I'm always having to watch him like a child, always having to bear the cost of his mistakes, that every time I get careless and think I can trust him to be an adult, I am always the one getting effed over. I then said, I can't see you as a partner anymore. You're just another liability in my checkbook. Harsh, but true.
Harsh but true.
Deliba says, yeah, but it could be dementia. That's what I was thinking.
That's what that's the thing is that I think that not saying this is OP's fault, but like for her own sanity, I think she should have brought this up sooner and said like, hey, I've been noticing you've been, doing this stuff has been happening. We should go to the doctor or we should go to the therapist. Why do you think this is happening?
Kimberly Fine says sometimes bad acts are disguised as good. Sure. But like,
this just seems so.
I think the best way, honestly, to view most situations is to view people in the best possible light.
Yeah.
And until you are proven otherwise, I don't know if we have proof that he's being intentionally bad.
Yeah.
I think what we need to do is we need to go to the doctor.
I think go to the doctor.
And then if there's nothing wrong, I'm be like, yo, dude, you gotta step up.
Dude.
Okay, here's my thing, real quick.
Yeah.
He is sloppy with the things it seems like he doesn't like doing, but he's very on point with the things he likes doing, not making a lot of mistakes. Could he be taking some substances or just being drunk all the time? And that's why he's making these sloppy mistakes?
I think she would know.
I don't know.
Know.
I think a lot of people were saying ADHD, which I think could be in line with he's very focused on the things he enjoys, but when he doesn't enjoy it, it's less focus on those.
Nine's Milk says, I'd put my money on Huntington's. Campbell says, my dad has dementia, and this is deaf early signs.
I think, definitely go to the doctor.
Let's see. So he immediately stormed out of the kitchen and went to bed. I called my mom and told her what happened. She thinks it's just stress and offered to take our daughter for a week so we could figure this out without our daughter seeing this. She says it was an a-hole thing to do to call my husband a liability. But I honestly understand her saying that, just like being so fed up with this. It's still an a-hole move, but it's like,
understandable.
Man, it's understandable. In the morning, I told my husband that my mom would pick up our daughter from summer camp and offer to watch her for the week. He said, okay, and that's the only interaction we've had since. He spends all day in the garage playing games with his friends, making TikToks, and streaming. For food, he's been ordering DoorDash and has been having the person deliver it in the garage. It's been days, and he refuses to be in the same room as me. I've tried messaging him to ask if we can talk or figure out a solution, but he's just left me on red. If I pop into the garage, he ignores me, but apologizes to his friends or viewers for the interruption and unmutes his mic when the noise stops. If you want this noise to never stop, you should join us on YouTube every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile. Before the blow up, I've asked if there was something going on. I've tried to gently respond every time he screwed up so our daughter didn't associate mistake to anger. I asked him to schedule with a doctor to see if something was wrong medically. Snaps for that. He always said I was overreacting. People make mistakes.
Which then this goes into him being the a-hole.
Yeah. Honestly, this is really bad.
Yeah.
If you're not going to get checked out by a doctor, you're not stepping up in any way. Maybe it's gotten to the point where he's been given so much of a free pass to do anything and not any responsibility that he's just completely shut down the responsible side of his brain. It's he's become dependent on OP for being his mom too. Because it sounds like he's not being a master of the household, he's just being a liability of the household, Whereas when you have a stay-at-home parent, they're supposed to do all the financials for the house or like clean around, cook, take care of the kids. Doesn't seem like he's doing any of that. And didn't see as an issue, even when the mistakes kept happening. When I tried to get him to understand that it was concerning just how expensive his mistakes were getting, he'd wave it off as if it's not like we can afford it. I love him dearly. I just miss the person he was before we had a child, the one I could trust and rely on. Also, we have an update on this.
I was so scared that we didn't have an update.
I found it.
Did I screw this up forever? Was I being too harsh on his mistakes? Am I missing something? Am I the a-hole? And
I need the update.
An
It's
update.
thick.
I need it like now.
It's thick. It
It's
happened
thick?
8 days later.
Oh, I need it.
Oh my goodness.
I need it so bad.
Are we just going back in?
Just go back in.
Go back in.
All right. Sorry for not being responsive. Thank you so much for everyone who gave feedback and suggestions and all the messages. It's been a week. Before I get into the update, going to answer some repeated questions. 1. What does my husband do for work? He can easily find employment, but we both agreed that the pay was never worth the toxic environment of his field unless he wanted to start his own business, which he did not. He worked in home repair and renovation. It was gross how his coworkers spoke and treated women, female customers, and coworkers alike. He saw many female coworkers be sexually harassed into quitting. He hated how gross it made him feel when sales and adjusters would take advantage of women. Yes, selling inferior and unnecessary services as a premium is a thing. If he said anything, his hours would get cut until he left. He left one job on the first day because his boss left a screaming voicemail for not selling a refrigerant service to a young black couple who didn't even need refrigerant. Yes, he's got documentation, reported multiple employers to the state board, and checked back. Nothing was ever done. He also tried a factory job and a warehouse job since leaving the trades. Both heavily penalized him for needing scheduled time off for my medical needs. There's no worker protection here for any of that until FMLA was paid, which takes a year to be eligible for. Yes, it is a privilege to walk away from a paying job with your middle fingers held high. I've done the same many times, but I'm happy where I am right now because it's the opposite of toxic. I'm thriving, and our company has no penalty, unlimited paid sick medical leave policy that is strictly enforced at all level of management. Any lead who penalizes people from taking sick leave gets sacked, a unicorn of a company. Add in a child and a short of finding another unicorn employer who won't penalize him for needing time off for me or our daughter, such as when daycare closed for a week due to an RSV outbreak, puts him out of the workforce until either I stop working or a child is old enough to not need consistent monitoring. So basically what they decided is it seems like it's better for him to not work so he can take care of the kid.
Yeah.
Last reason for this dynamic is that although I'm disabled, my job pays almost double the highest salary he's ever had with no reduction in pay for needing time off. It doesn't make financial sense for us to switch who is the working partner. 2, does my husband have a large following or make money from streaming / TikTok? No, he has an average of 6 viewers and has 3 Twitch followers.
Okay, that's like, I love that for you. I just think it's funny that he was like, I've had a hard day of streaming.
And he's like, guys, don't worry. Don't worry. I'm going to put it on pause. We'll be right back. And hey, you know what? It starts small and it starts somewhere.
Professionalism.
It starts with 6. When we did our taxes, he didn't get a 1099 and showed me that he made $6 from TikTok live gifts. Nothing from Twitch. His viewer counts are about the same as the end of the year. 3, why do we still have weekly housekeeper with our daughter in summer camp and part-time daycare? I hate the dynamic of one spouse working a single job for 40 hours a week while the other juggles simultaneous domestic duties, child rearing, care enrichment, socialization, and essentially being on call 24/7. I would not want those expectations of me and couldn't fathom putting all of it on someone I love and cherish. If my husband did all the activities and field trips that daycare did, his evenings and weekends would be taken up by domestic duties that I would physically struggle with assisting. Okay, so it's like a thing for them both. The weekly housekeeper helps prevent deferred cleaning paralysis, where small missed things pile up into unwieldy monster tasks and struggling with where to start. The monthly deep clean and organization has been a world of self-care as we navigated to having an infant and a transition from infant to toddler. So basically, it's like a helpful thing.
Yeah, Sophia Callan says, hey, you have to start somewhere. That's still cool. It's hard to start. Agreed. Absolutely. I just think it's funny that he was saying he had a hard day of streaming.
Yeah, you know.
Like he was using that as an excuse.
As an excuse. Hey, you know what? Streaming to 6 people is hard. You don't have as many people to play off of.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, my thought if I was going to be a streamer, I wouldn't just be streaming. I would be cutting everything up and putting it on YouTube. I feel like his approach to it was wrong.
He doesn't have genius content brains like us.
Exactly.
Well, also, there was an edit to add. Our daughter started at part-time daycare when she was 3. Before then, my partner was the primary caretaker, which made the weekly housekeeping that much more helpful and not letting things fall into disarray. 4, the allowance thing. Yes, I wanted a dynamic where my husband has his own money, even if he was not working a paying job. Maybe I've been on social media too long, but I've read so many stories of non-working spouses, albeit mostly women, being financially abused or unable to leave marriages because they did not have access to money that they could save in private. Should I have stopped it sooner when our dynamic became too unbalanced? Yes, I own that. 5, what happens if we divorce? The house and settlement balance is in a trust completely separated, as far as my lawyer can tell, out of his reach. Alimony would be up to a judge to decide, but between my documentation that his licenses, certs, aren't expired, plus my continual medical costs, there's a good chance of not being obligated. Hopefully that answers most of the questions of the background. On to the update.
Hey, yo.
Okay.
This was good. This was good context.
Good context. So, Friday, I finished work to the smell of food being cooked. My husband was plating dinner on the table when I left my office. He said he wanted to talk over dinner. Some people had given me the heads up that my story was on multiple TikToks, and I'm grateful because it meant being prepared for the possibility he would see it, which I have feelings about my post being used for content on the very platform my child and I have been neglected for. Not good ones. He did see one. He asked if it was me, and I told him the truth. Yes, I wrote it. Yes, that's how I feel. And yes, I read the comments on Reddit. And no, I won't delete or change how I write about him just because I know he can see it. I don't know how to describe his reaction, but he said he'd spent the last day reflecting on just how bad could it be for so many medical diagnosis suggestions being given as a reason and justification. He did say that he's not ADHD. His mom was addicted to opioids and Ritalin when he was a kid, and she tried to get numerous doctors to have him diagnosed ADHD. She had him believing he was so. He also sought out 2 opinions once he was an adult. He didn't learn about her addiction until the mid-20s. He did seek therapy once he was aware that his mom was trying to use him for pills. He said he was willing to see a psychiatrist one more time, but he doesn't think he has ADHD or is autistic at all. He does think he might be depressed, though. If not depressed, he will ask about some of the other medical suggestions. It will ease my worry or rule out a major problem. He did sound genuine in this, but something he said is sticking with me. He said it jokingly and apologized as soon as he saw the hurt in my eyes. That everyone saying there's something wrong in his brain must be onto something, since he chose to love and marry someone medically fragile, knowing our life together would be anything but normal.
Why'd you say it like that?
Oh, you can't take that back.
Why?
He did also admit that the night he'd left the door open, the pot on, ruined our child's favorite dish in a cup. He drank a little bit too much on his stream and would monitor that more closely. He said the last few nights he had been filling his wine bottle with grape juice, so it looked like he was a jolly drinking Viking, but was actually sober. He said he would keep doing that.
That's why he had so much grape juice he bought her.
After dinner, we went out, and he surprised me with seeing the new Deadpool movie. We didn't go to our normal theater because he looked up what each theater had for limited edition popcorn buckets. I now have a baby Deadpool and one that holds popcorn and a drink. We spent the next day going over the extent of how our family dynamic changed for the worse, how little things have added up, how I see change as a part of an apology. If you verbally apologize but repeatedly do the same thing, the apology words are worthless to me, and that he didn't recognize just how frequently he was making the same/similar oopsies. Sunday, we spent talking over short and long term, what needs to change immediately, him scheduling his own doctor's appointments, timelines for expectations. Also really quick, so when John and I started working together, we would make mistakes all the time. We would overlook stuff, like we would forget stuff. It was like, we were like, oh, our brains are just, forgetful, blah, blah, blah. But then what we did is we made systems to make sure that we wouldn't forget stuff, that we'd be on top of stuff. We built support structures around so that we could do the things that we need to do. And yeah. And I think this is what you need to do. It's like, if your brain isn't built to, not have oopsies, you need to create systems that allow your brain to not have oopsies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He agreed that replacing or fixing things he caused will no longer come out of our expense account. He'll pay it from his allowance account, which we talked about. I did turn deposits back on, but only for a $50 per paycheck. He suggested we keep it that way until he's paid back. The cost of repairing the garage and car from earlier this year. He said it will take him far longer to undo the cost of destroying the engine to my last vehicle, but he's going to step up, find ways to make it right, just so you know. Yes, I see the red flags. Love bombing, not knowing how frequently, despite repeated talks, thinking verbal apologies are the final step in apologizing and not understanding that repeatedly doing the same thing is the same as never apologizing. And yes, I know he will read this. Do I actually think this is resolved and we will come out of this as perfect married couple who stays together till one of us croaks? Not really. Full offense to my husband for now. Is it a potential resolution? Maybe. But my husband is fully aware that he has a lot to make up for and a lot to fix and a tight schedule to make it happen. And that is a lesson for our daughter later in life, is either going to be taking real accountability can steer a wayward ship back to course, or taking accountability is the right thing to do even if you don't get the result you wanted, or love alone isn't enough. And that is where this ends.
A lot of people in the comments are divorce train.
I think I would do what she did. I think what she said is tight timeline to turn it around.
Yeah.
Let's see if it happens. If it doesn't happen, divorce.
I honestly think, I think I'm still on the giving him a minute to try, and if he doesn't, then divorce.
Yep, lurkers vote right now.
Lurkers.
This one's a big one because I'm for
what's the
working
question?
it out.
What's the question?
Divorce or not?
I think working it out. But he is depressed. And also, I mean, how many years has it been that he's been like this?
I don't know.
Been like this. So the daughter's 3 and it happened right before. So about 3.
That's a long time to be like this.
That is a long time.
It's a long time to be like this. That's almost like you're that person now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like after a certain point, it's not just like oopsies, it's like you are that.
Yeah.
Dude, we're 50-50
Oh,
here.
wait. Bug says, I missed the last paragraph. TLDR, wow, this sucks. I suck for letting it get this far. My husband sucks for what he put us through. Life owes me a dinner date if it's going to F me so hard, but there's a potential path forward that doesn't involve divorce and sometimes also involves divorce. Edit to add. He finally read the post, so please read between the lines to what I'm actually saying. Last 4 words of the previous 4 paragraphs, if it's not obvious.
Just so you know, and yes, I know he will read this, love isn't enough and sometimes involves divorce. I think she's divorcing him.
Damn.
Wow.
That was some Gravity Falls crap right
Yeah.
there. That got me fired up.
Oh,
Wow.
Sofia Calon, she's not going to try. According to her riddle, she's divorcing him.
Yeesh. Oh my goodness.
That was a twist. That was
a
an actual twist.
I was like, oh yeah, I could see why she would say no.
No.
But there is another story.
You know what scares me?
What?
Divorce.
Riddles?
Just like people changing.
Yeah.
Like imagine you marry someone
And then they change.
and they just become a different person.
Yeah.
That's why Alex said he won't stay with someone forever because like you change.
Oh yeah, we had a
within your life.
conversation about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex has some interesting opinions on
Marriage.
monogamy and marriage and relationships. Yeah. I mean, I think we're built for like 10-year relationships to 20-year relationships as humans.
I mean, I think it depends on the person in the relationship.
I think intentionality. It's all about intention.
Yeah.
It's all about pouring into the cup.
Yeah, I think it can work, but it's just so often doesn't. It's so scary.
Also, I think that this is hilarious that she made it a riddle because I don't know if he's going to be able to solve it.
All right, well, to be fair, we had a trouble.
Yeah, but imagine him that he's had a trouble with everything.
Yeah.
Smart.
But let's not have trouble with this next story.
Woo!
My boyfriend tried to secretly cheat on me with his ex, but his ex wasn't on board. That's embarrassing.
Oh, that's so embarrassing.
So embarrassing.
Oh.
So we've been together just over 13 months. Me, female 27, planning on moving in together in about 4 months when his, Luke, male 29, lease is up. We've been to loads of events together, weddings, engagement parties, birthdays, even his grandparents' wedding anniversary party. By the way, this comes from Realistic Hyena 5695 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So we were due to attend his friend's wedding in a neighboring country when a few weeks before, he told me he didn't want to go. It was just as I was booking my flights. I asked why, and he said I would be bored. I know his friend group well, so it's not like I wouldn't know anyone. Anyway, despite many heated discussions, he was adamant. This left a bad taste in my mouth, and I felt something was off. So 7 of my friends and I decided to go for a break at the beach while he was gone, and then extend it to a full week. My friend, Jem's parents, had a house at the beach less than 2 hours drive away, and the weather was supposed to be good, so we were excited. We were leaving on Wednesday and due back the following Wednesday morning early and going straight into work. I didn't even bother telling my boyfriend. Honestly, it felt like he wouldn't care, and I was on the brink of breaking up with him. But decided to enjoy the beach break first. I get a call from Anna, female 26, out of the blue. Anna was the girlfriend of my boyfriend's best friend, Sam, 29. We We had been due to travel with them. She overheard Luke talking to Sam. Sam was asking if he really wasn't going to bring me to the wedding. Luke said yes, because his ex, Lucy, late 20s, I think, had finally RSVP'd she was going and had really delayed. She texted Luke and told him she couldn't wait to see him again and had a surprise for him.
What kind of surprise?
They had broken up 3 years ago and she lived abroad and they kept in touch a little, as far as I know. Luke was convinced the surprise was spicy sleep, as this had been some kind of running joke when they had dated. Anyway, he didn't want me there, messing up his chance of having spicy sleep with Lucy. Your girlfriend. Break up with her. Break up. He said it was a once off, but he had to do it. Well, that was enough for me. I knew I would be dumping him, but didn't want a week of him texting or harassing me to forgive him while I was at the beach. So I held off until we got back. OP's like, nothing is getting in the way of my beach plans.
Dude, beach plans make you forget about all other things going on in your life.
Yeah.
The sand of the shore and the sea washes away all your grief.
Worries. On the Tuesday, Luke texted and said he was sleeping over at mine until Thursday, as he would be leaving early Friday morning and would be gone until Sunday. He didn't ask, just told me. I replied that he couldn't, as I was leaving very early on Wednesday morning for a week's vacation and would see him next week. Told him not to worry about keeping in touch because I was planning to be phone free on my vacation as much as possible.
And boyfriend free.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
He asked why I hadn't told him I was going on vacation, and I just said, I thought I had. He wanted to know who I was going with and 100 other questions. I told him we would talk when I got back, that I was busy packing and to enjoy the wedding, and I hoped it was full of surprises for him. He didn't reply.
Dude.
Damn.
Dude, she is
ice cold. Love it.
squeezing the juice out of this.
We had a fantastic vacation. Woo! Beach day. The rain held off and we stayed on the beach all day and hit nightclubs and local bars and restaurants at night. I didn't post on social media, but was certainly tagged in a lot of pics. He texted me a few times Thursday and Friday, but just general flight leaving now and I got here okay stuff. But on Saturday, the day of the wedding, he really texted and called a lot. The texts were all how he missed me and made a mistake not bringing me. I didn't reply and didn't answer any calls. Same on Sunday. Then he got home on Sunday night and wanted to join us at the beach. I told him no, he would just be bored.
Damn, she does not give a hoot.
No. Just turning everything on him. Sunday night, Anna rang me and couldn't stop laughing. His ex, Lucy, turned up to the restaurant Friday to the group dinner, and her surprise was that she was 7 months pregnant with her new husband's baby, and her shiny new husband was with her.
Get freaking wrecked.
Suck it, Sam.
In a way,
Okay.
sex was the surprise.
It was a
Yeah,
surprise.
it was the
Just
surprise.
not sex
With
with you.
you.
Spicy sleep with you.
Lucy played a cruel but hilarious prank on him, but it also ended our relationship. So I was grateful to Lucy for showing me who he really was. You know what else I'm grateful for?
What?
That you can join us live on YouTube at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Just tap our profile.
Just have a profile.
Luke arrived to mine Wednesday after I got back and was love bombing me, telling me how much he missed me and apologizing again. At that point, I told him I knew why he didn't bring me and that his surprise wasn't spicy sleep, but a pregnant ex and her husband. So I told him it was over. He planned to cheat even if he didn't get the chance to. I was laughing at how Lucy pranked him, but honestly, I was still hurting on the inside. He tried to get me to change my mind because he hadn't actually cheated, but I wouldn't budge. Am I the a-hole for dumping him even though he didn't actually cheat? No.
He
No,
deserves
you're
to
not.
be dumped in the best possible way, which is what you did.
It's what you did. You did it.
Shout out you, OP.
Congratulations.
Sounds like a little poopy head.
Poopy head.
I was trying to get over a bad situationship, so I talked to an online psychic.
Checks out.
They got this new device where you put your hand on it and they can read it off a device. I've recently been in what can be called only as described as quite an intense situationship. I know. For context, much of it was long distance and online until recently. There have been times over the past few months where I was falling in love with him and started to believe we may be soulmates. Meant to be together. We connected so much, got on so well, had much in common, and it was very sweet and loving. But sadly, he's broken it off after a period of a big change in his life. Left him overwhelmed. This was also after a couple of weeks of barely talking / responding to me. By the way, this comes from Melina Jean Smith. on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, because much of our future being quite unclear from different countries and situations, work-wise, financially, etc., there always felt like a baseline of anxiety and insecurity. Not in a wholly negative way, just in a way where much more was up in the air than in more typical setup.
They're in different countries. This is long distance.
Long distance, different
remote.
countries.
I wonder if they've ever met in person.
So a few weeks ago, before formally breaking up, I started talking to online psychics to try to seek for some answers. For context, I'm not super into the world of clairvoyancy. I said that right?
Yeah, you got
What
it.
the hell?
Nice.
Spirituality, astrology, etc. I am an agnostic and have quite a natural, cynical approach to these things and mainly see it as a bit of fun.
I wonder why this was what she jumped to. If
Yeah.
she feels like she's like skeptical.
Like a pull to it.
Yeah, if that was the first thing, and she was like, you know what, I'm gonna check a psychic.
I've never used or been into a medium before, but I know a friend who has. So using a service like this was quite out of character, lol, and I've been surprised as to how much I liked it. I never asked specific questions or gave too much information about him / the situation, mainly because I wanted to test how much they could actually pick up on / how accurate they'd be, but also try to be respectful with his privacy as much as possible. I don't know if you can be respectful of privacy to a medium.
Because they already know.
They already know.
They already know.
To be honest, I don't really know what I even wanted to know from myself. I guess I just wanted a general idea of how I should be investing this time-wise if we weren't actually meant to be together in the long run, as I wasn't getting real clarity or communication from him at this point. So she was just looking for answers any way means possible.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess I just wanted to come on here and say that using this service has generally helped me so much. I feel a sponsorship coming up. This is just a sponsorship for mediums. This week, this guy properly broke it off with me / friends on me. It was the usual spiel. I really like you, but can't do this at the moment. If you told me 3 months ago this was going to happen and I'd come out of it the other side pretty unscratched, I would have never believed it.
Wow.
Prior and during an approximate 3-week period pre-breakup, I think I'd open 5 to 6 online chats with psychics on specific platforms.
Oh, okay. So she's just like going all in. She's like, psychic, like, tell me everything.
Whoa, I've never heard of this before.
Yeah.
The readings they've given me have all been short. You chose the time frame, and for the most part, pretty accurate. They've been able to glean his anxiety issues, temporary nature of this stay here. He is an Intel student, and few more bits and bobs, especially the conclusion from most has been, it's a great connection you have, but it will lead to much further intimacy / serious relationship. Yeah. My bad. One psychic in particular, without being prompted by me with specific information or questions, has told me twice that she knows this guy is not my soulmate and that I will marry someone else. I haven't met my soulmate yet, but the universe has prepared someone for me, and she knows I'll meet him. Of course, no info on when or where, which is good. After she told me this honesty, a wave of acceptance and peace took over me. It wasn't an immediate, yay, I'm completely over current guy now, time to hunt for my new man, but more, okay, cool, my time will come. I can let the situation go with my head held high.
Okay. So glad it was like supportive and it was just reassuring for her.
It's kind of crazy. She opened up and talked to 5 to 6 different psychics, and they were all like, said the same thing.
Yeah.
That's wild. I'd stress that I'm someone that honestly doesn't have a natural inclination to think about this kind of thing. Who I'll marry, whether soulmates are real, where mine is, etc. But her telling me this genuinely almost snapped me out of being sad about this new guy overnight.
Good for her.
LOL.
Wonderful.
I do also feel totally at peace with the very real possibility that this is all BS and that I've maybe been scammed by this website, etc. LOL. But honestly, I don't regret spending the money on this or using this service at all. It's what I needed for my own sanctity during this breakup / period of high stress, and I currently have enough disposable income that it's not completely insane. LOL. The only thing that doesn't slightly worry me is that maybe we shouldn't really know these kind of things about our lives. It did feel slightly wrong gaining this information from her, LOL, but I do kind of understand why religious talks against using these kind of powers. But I've done it now, LOL, so what can you do? So religions are like, don't use these sort of powers, they'll give you answers because you might obsess over it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The way I feel about it is that there's so many like inputs of data, and this is one input, and to not like trust it is like absolute. And like, I'm just gonna, you know, reject all other things, reject my own intuition, reject my own instinct, and just take this as blind faith. But I could totally, you know, I think it's totally reasonable to like include it as a source of information and to have it inform your decision and inform the way you approach things. In some capacity.
Because I have done that before where I believe from my own experiences that this one person is meant for me because of just some song that they played.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is my special song. I'm keeping it for me and my girl. And then they played it. The first song they ever played it was them.
Wow.
And I was like, this is the girl for me.
That's so cute.
And then over time, I got an answer and it was no.
Oh, really?
And then we broke up.
Wow.
And that broke me. And I'm still kind of healing from it, but doing way better. But if you do, like you said, if you do, I gave myself up. I was like, this isn't me. I'm going to go all in. And I lost myself during that. I feel it's been worth it for my peace of mind. And it also means I can leave current guy in peace too, as he needs space. I don't feel the need or urge to text him / try to win back now, which is the best for both of us and now in the long run. So she was able to like give him up. I know that I may be a bit of a denial phase right now, like in any relationship. Also, it's obviously not the ending of a super long or serious relationship, LOL, which is, of course, adds on how easy this breakup is in the end of grand scheme of things. So lots of factors other than the sidekick part came into play here, but you can come play with us every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile. But yeah, I just wanted to share this because it's been an interesting experience for me, LOL. I'm not trying to advise that to others to do this. It does cost a bit of money. For transparency, I'm currently not paying rent or bills. I probably spent a total of $110 over the past 3 to 4 weeks. 110 pounds.
That's not that much for like 5 sidekicks.
Are you a student? You can choose either phone or web chats. I'm not going to link the specific platform I use. What I can say is that it can be quite addictive.
She's really shouting them out.
Yeah, she really is without shouting them out.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that I personally became addicted, but I see how you can very easily happen. So please be careful if you ever use a service like this. Try not to use them if you are in a strong place financially and be focused on what you want from it. I personally don't think I'll be using them again, especially when I go back to renting and paying bills, LOL. The conclusion I've gained is that maybe I've gone a bit crazy, but what girl hasn't gone crazy over surviving a situationship with a straight guy? Thanks for reading. So you can get over a breakup with a psychic.
That's the moral of this story. Just get like 5 psychics.
5 psychics to tell you the same thing.
Exactly.
My husband overspent on his hobby while we're financially struggling.
Sue a girl for having a hobby.
I just found out that my husband spent $10,000 on Pokémon slabs that he said were for Christmas and my birthday. I'm physically shaking. I had no idea he was spending that much. I assumed maybe $500 to $1,000 at most. When I checked our bank account and credit reports, I was shocked. By the way, this comes from user Veiled Verdicts, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. 11 years together. I called him, and he admitting to spending $10,000. The worst part is that these were not even cards I wanted or collections I am into. It was a nice thought, but I was not thrilled by them. To top it all off, he completely forgot my birthday on the actual day. He did not say anything until halfway through the day, so he did not get me a card, flowers, coffee, or anything at all. Even when I suggested we celebrate over the weekend, he made no effort. Financially, we are struggling. Our mortgage is $10,000 this month because of property taxes and home insurance. Our house is on the market, but it is not selling because of the high price tag. It's already marked at the lowest we can go without profit. We had just paid off all his credit cards in December, bringing them down to 9% utilization so we could focus on paying off mine. My credit card debt is from necessary home repairs like replacing electrical panels to prevent a fire, and I had been putting groceries on there to protect our cash for mortgage payments. not random purchases. At this point, I blocked his number and told him I want a divorce. He has always had a problem with saving money, and I feel completely disrespected and steamrolled, especially given our financial situation. Am I overreacting? I just need advice or a gut check because I feel like I've reached my breaking point. There's a couple comments, relevant comments here. Number one, of course you're not overreacting. He's deceived you by draining your finances at the worst possible time. Then he lied and claimed what he bought for himself was actually for your birthday. Meet with a divorce attorney, sell the slabs. They're supposed to be a gift to you so you can do whatever you want with them.
Yes.
Make sure you get him to text you in writing that it is a birthday gift. Save that for the attorney. In future, have your taxes and insurance escrowed. Property taxes and insurance are outrageously expensive, at least here in California. Having them withdrawn spread out over 12 months is far easier than doing the lump sum when payment is due. One of the most important values that a couple should share is finances. Having one spouse spend freely beyond their means while the other tries to pay down debt and save dooms most marriages. Unblock his number because he might text you something your attorney can use in the divorce. You two are not suitable for each other for a life together. OP says our mortgage situation is just effed. Too much to go into detail, but yes. We are aware and trying to make that change. Even said we would rent for 2 years at a very low rate in our area to make things different for the next house. But there 100% won't be a next house. Comment 2, I only have one question. Why did you pay for his credit cards first before focusing on your own? He's clearly financially irresponsible. And if I was struggling, I would sell all those Pokemon things first and don't give him all the money. OP says his credit was better and easier to bounce his back faster. I trust him like an effing idiot. I had a higher balance from home repairs and medical expenses. Comment 3, sell the cards. Stop quaffling. Sell all the cards. Collectibles are for those who can afford it, and you two are not ready. Commenter 4 says, yep, they're your gift. You can sell them. OP says, I don't disagree. We have collected the 2023 Scarlet and Violet as it was our childhood memories. I was definitely okay when we did that, and it was something we did together. This feels like a pure betrayal of trust. We talked about buying slabs together as they are expensive, and we wanted to choose together. We had that conversation multiple times when we talked about collecting, adding further betrayal to the situation. Comment 5, I would not call this an overreaction. That was an incredibly selfish, incredibly idiotic thing for him to do. Here is the update. I want to start by apologizing to the community for deleting my original post. Some people said it was fake. I didn't want to hear that because it is not fake. It's real. Please remember to be kind to those who put vulnerable experiences on the internet while seeking help during dark times. What is a Pokemon slab? So a slab is when you send the card to the company and they put it in a nice, they encase it in a little protective thing and it has like the condition on it and all that stuff. That's what adds the absurd amount of value to a card. I am safe. I have contacted a lawyer. No matter what happens, I will continue protecting myself and making better decisions going forward. I also took screenshots and went through his phone completely. While we have no children together, we do have a decade and a lot of love for one another.
They've got to be
high
around
school sweethearts.
But they've got to be around 30.
No.
A decade? Oh, you think they got together in high school?
They have
so
been,
like,
they're sweetie pies.
but like minimum 26.
Oh, I would say like 20, like
25,
around
26.
Yeah, 22 to 26. Yeah.
He was surprisingly open to giving up control and acknowledged his addiction. He admitted he always knew it was something, but as each new hobby came along, they became more and more expensive. He was not angry when I confronted him. He did break down in tears. We talked, and while I want to keep identifying details private, I can say that he is getting help, and I now have full financial control. He attended a meeting for Shoppers Anonymous, and we believe he has a compulsive spending disorder. Thanks to this community, I realized how serious collector addiction can be. I would not have gone to a lawyer or even known where to start if it wasn't for the advice I received here. Reddit is honest, and they know what's up. That's why I came here for help. Addiction is a long, difficult journey, and I will hold myself accountable to ensure I don't ignore red flags. Here's where we stand now. He has agreed to all my terms. I have full financial control. He will sell the cards. He's working to sell other items from past hobbies. We will have weekly financial meetings. He will go to individual therapy and meetings. We will go back to marriage counseling. After reviewing the finances, it was actually $7,000 spent on cards, not $10,000. The other $3,000 were smaller charges like work lunches in Starbucks. We're working on selling the cards. Other important changes. He has promised to be a better husband and stop acting like a child. He recognizes his behavior. He has also acknowledged that his selfishness has affected other areas of our life, like in our support system, and he's working to change that. We both understand that this is a lifelong addiction that will require daily effort. We have to make that choice individually of how we want to proceed. By the way, you can proceed to listen to stories just like this. There are full episodes with stories just like this on Spotify, on iHeartRadio, on Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, just search OK Storytime. I know it's easy to say just leave him, but marriage is not that simple. Sometimes one partner is at 10% while the other is at 90%. Right now, he is at 10%. 2 years ago, I was the one at 10% and he stuck by me. He gave me the chance to change and I did. Now it's my turn to offer him the same opportunity. I will not give him a second chance beyond this, but I believe everyone deserves at least one. OP is explaining what the financial restraining order is all about. OP says a financial restraining order is a court directive that prevents parties in a divorce or similar legal process from taking certain actions with their money or assets, like liquidating assets or making unusual expenditures to ensure a fair division of property. The purpose is to prevent one party from depleting or hiding assets before a final property division is determined, thus ensuring a fair outcome for both parties. You can do this during a separation. Unfortunately, ultimatums never work. Each party has to make a choice in the matter, and only he can choose the marriage and want to sell the cards. I can't force him to do anything. He has to want to change. Commenter 1 says, hey, I'm glad he is ready to make changes and willing to put in the work. If he had just promised to do better, I still would have advised you to divorce, but if he sticks to all the steps you agreed on, I hope it will all work out for you. OP says, I'm giving him a strict 90 days. I am going to a lawyer. Comment 2, have you considered getting marriage counseling together? Yes, we've already agreed to go back. Were the slabs gifts? Yes, they were. They are all mine. I have the screenshot to prove this. Comment 3, I didn't see the original post, but I appreciate the update. As you said, marriage is a partnership where you see each other through ups and downs. Not everything is a leave him situation. It's good he acknowledged his problem. Honestly, the saddest part of your update is the $3,000 spent on dumb things like Starbucks. At least with the slabs, you can sell them and hopefully recoup a good portion of your losses. It's a lesson to all of us in how the little things really add up. Good luck, OP. OP says, I know that $3,000 actually hit him harder. Thanks for your kind words. I'm getting torn apart here. Can't make people understand my perspective, though. I've left comments for resources as well, and I hope those could help someone else. Comment 4, there's a difference between gifting something to your partner that's on their wish list, surprising them with an item, and buying leisure items for yourself without communicating it to your partner. Plus, just as an example, my husband and I have financial goals, and buying luxury or expensive leisure items undisclosed just isn't us right now. Mostly out of respect, but also due to our shared goals, but that's just us. OP says, let me put it this way. The real issue wasn't the spending itself, but that he didn't come to me about it first. You are 1010% correct there. He saw it as a gift and didn't think through the financial aspect. This morning when we talked, I told him that if he had asked for $7,000 for a trip, I would have said yes. If he had asked for $7,000 for Pokémon cards, I would have said to take $1,000 and grab some surprises or new things he thought I would love. I love Pokémon. I love playing, watching matches, and being a part of the community. I just prefer full collections, which aren't always feasible. If he had spent $1,000 on a complete 2023 151 Scarlet and Violet Japanese set, ungraded, with one version of each card, I would have been over the moon.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I was about to say, of course you would have been, because you could have sold that for probably more than 10 times what you bought it for. Instead, he got a mix of things, including first edition base sets and a new collection I didn't even know about that I now love. I told him I would have preferred 1 or 2 slabs from each collection, maybe a mix of my favorites like Bulbasaur, Vulpix, or Snorlax, to test the waters before diving into a bunch of new collections so headstrong. Now we have a lot to offload. That said, his heart was in the right place, and he genuinely feels awful for his mistakes. In a way, this is a wake-up call for us both to stop spoiling each other and refocus on our financial goals. You may never understand. That's okay. I've known this man 11 years to know his BS from his genuinely good side. He knows how messed up it was to do what he did, and he's 100% here to make it right. And he's doing all the right things. It can take up to 2 years for trust to be built back up, and he's ready to suck it up, as my therapist says often. He also has been kind in giving me the space to share what's bubbling inside from all of this. He told me to stop sorting the cards when I started to cry and wait for him to come home so he could help and be there for me in the way I needed. I was upset because I did love the one collection and didn't want to sell it. He said he already was offloading something of his own for $500 from another hobby, and he will sell anything of his first to pay off the debt he created before I have to sell any of the cards I want to keep because they are my gifts. And these are his consequences. Is the card pictured 10K? No. OP's, that is a stock photo. It was a few different collections, not just one card. He bought 100 different cards.
So, whoa.
He just went on a spree.
Oh.
He was like, I need dopamine. I need $7,000 worth of Pokemon Center dopamine in my brain right now.
Actually pretty crazy. My boyfriend's friend ruined my designer bag. I'm considering legal action.
Yeah, I'm about to legally throw you in jail for that. What?
I'll try to keep it short and sweet. I recently bought an authentic designer purse. I realize the privilege I have to do so, but I work an extremely demanding job that requires I work very long hours and get compensated well to do so. It's something I've wanted my entire life, and I've finally reached a point where I can afford to do it. By the way, this comes from CatDog, and that is 22. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. Not super relevant, but I grew up poor, so in a way, it was cathartic for me to buy something frivolous that I really wanted, which is partially why it means so much to me. I've had this purse less than a month, and I've only worn it out twice. Once to a work event and once to a nice dinner we went on with my boyfriend and his friends this last weekend. We were hanging out at my boyfriend's friend's house after the dinner, and I hung my purse on the chair behind me. At this point, I trusted everyone in the house and wasn't really concerned about it. We've all been hanging out for years now. We moved to another room right next to the one we were in to play a game. When I came back, my purse was right where I left it. When we left for the night, I grabbed it and thought it felt heavier, but didn't look inside of it until I went to unload it when we got home. For some reason, someone thought it would be funny to put uncovered red Jell-O shots into my purse with a white interior, where they proceeded to leak the entire inside with stained splotchy pink shade, and to say I was livid is an understatement. We're all between 30 to 60. We have some older folks that are family friends of people in the group who hang out with us sometimes. So everyone is old enough to not do something so stupid. I attempted to clean it to no avail. My boyfriend reached out to the group chat that has about half of his friends in it and asked if anyone knew who'd done it. One person admitted they saw someone do it and told us who. It was one of the older members of the group who's known for messing with people's belongings, but never to this degree. For example, when we went swimming last summer, he filled the pockets of my shorts up with Chex Mix. It was annoying, but didn't really damage anything. Also, no one really finds his antics funny.
Well, that's a personal problem, because that was hilarious. Chex Mix pocket, I'm fully on board with that.
In my opinion, it's common sense to refrain from putting red goo that turns liquidy when warm into a white bag, but he claims that he was just being funny and didn't think they would leak. I asked him for money to either repair the bag or replace it, and he claims he does not have that much money. He says the bag looked cheap, so he didn't think it would be a big deal even if the shots had leaked. I know that he has ample assets, multiple sports cars, $1 million home, etc., and can find a way to compensate for what he damaged. When I pointed this out, he told me that it was my fault for bringing around an expensive bag and that something could have easily been spilled on it instead. While I would have been upset if that had been the case, obviously, I wouldn't have been anywhere near as upset because this has been done intentionally and is now being blamed on me. I can take responsibility and say I shouldn't have left it out of my sight, but I knew no one in the house would steal it or the contents in it, and I never would have thought someone would fill it with sticky red goo, regardless of how expensive or cheap it was. I told him that he needed to find the money or I would be suing him for the damages, and a couple of people in the group think I'm going too far. My boyfriend is thankfully as angry as I am, and I don't want the situation to come at the cost of any of his friendships, but I also want to be compensated for my property that I worked my butt off for. Would I be the a-hole if I take legal action, or should I try some other method to recoup my losses? I personally don't think so, because this wasn't an accident, but some people think I'm going too nuclear. And there is an update. I had my appointment to have the bag looked at. They would be able to mostly repair it. However, it's likely that the liquid seeped through the lining and may have damaged the bag beyond repair. They wouldn't know until they really got into it. Even so, the smell of crusty old Jell-O and liquor would likely linger and deteriorate any resale value the purse may have in the future. For these reasons, I will be going after him for the entire value of the purse. Thank you to the person who mentioned that this could hurt resale value in the future. I didn't even think of this. I asked the person that looked at it, and she told me the severity of the staining and odor definitely would. Thankfully, it is not a limited edition bag, and I can currently buy a new one. Hopefully that this doesn't change anytime soon, as I really love my bag. I am going to reach out to my attorney in the morning to see if he can help me or refer me to someone who can. I can update again with what they say, but I'm pretty sure I have a strong leg to stand on. To answer some questions, why don't I punt this guy from the friend group? Easiest answer here is that it isn't my friend group. The man is a family friend of one of my boyfriend's friends. He truthfully isn't around much, but it seems like whenever he is, he causes problems. So I'm not sure why he's still invited, even occasionally. My boyfriend and I made it clear we would never be in the same place as him ever again, which kind of puts the ball in everyone else's court. Does he not like you, or does he torment everyone? He has a weird fixation with me mostly, but he does also torment most of the women in the group. I mentioned this in the comments, but it may have gotten buried. But during my first interaction with him, I had left my phone out while I had quickly gone to the bathroom. At some point, he snatched my phone up, went somewhere else in the house, took a picture of his butt, and replaced my phone in the same spot. I found the pictures a few hours later when I opened my camera roll to show someone my dog, and my boyfriend asked me, horrified, why I had a hairy butt in my phone. I was mortified and had no explanation, and it wasn't until this man was hammered that he admitted he did it. We were all disgusted, and he stopped being invited for a while because my boyfriend refused to be around him. Last year, he started being invited again and immediately started pranking me in harmless ways. He likes to do this with new girlfriends, especially, I noticed. And I am one of the newest in the friend group, even though it's been a few years now. One of my boyfriend's friends started dating a new girl, and she got a similar treatment, but nothing as severe. He really likes to tamper with our clothes mostly. I hate that. I don't know what the motive is, but he doesn't usually mess with the guys, just the women. Yeah. Did he steal anything? No. As I mentioned, he's wealthy, and I don't think he'd really do anything like that. He doesn't seem like the type to get a thrill from theft. Rather, he wants to annoy women. I only kept my credit card, a small amount of cash, car keys, and a sentimental keychain in the bag. Everything was sticky and coated in goo, but everything was also there. Small edit. Also, all of your friends, quote unquote, who think that you're going overboard by wanting to sue him when he's behaved like after the booty pic. Well, he should never have come back after that.
It's just like such a weird thing to take a stance on when it's like his reaction should clearly be like, oh my God, it ruined your bag. I can't believe I did this. I'm so sorry. Like that was, oh my God, I'm so dumb for that. I'm sorry.
Yes.
And let me fix it. Let me do this. How do I fix this?
A lot of people have taken to accusing my boyfriend of some nasty things, setting this up, not defending me, being spineless, etc. I just wanted to take a second to say none of this is true and is mentioned throughout the post. The first instance of this man being weird, my boyfriend screamed at him about how what he had done to me was awful, whether or not he saw it as a joke. We left immediately after, and he told his friends that he did not want to be invited when that man was around. It took several years for it to blow over and for his friends to attempt to have us all together again for a birthday party. My boyfriend made it clear that if he ever did anything to harm me again, that would be it, and he promised he wouldn't. After all of that situation, the offender did calm down towards me a lot until now, which is why I didn't feel that worried about him and comfortable leaving my purse out of my sight for 30 minutes. My boyfriend not physically attacking this man isn't him being spineless, it's him being mature and realizing that hurting him was only going to result in him getting charges that would impact his career and life. Now that this has all happened, my boyfriend has defended me and said we will do everything we need in order to get me a new purse. It was me that was worried about it causing him to lose friends, as I know this group is very important to him. Consensus, not the a-hole. And Opie says it was $2,800. My understanding is if it can be clean, cost would be around $400. If it cannot, repairs could be anywhere from $700, it just needing to be replaced. I am taking it into being looked at tonight, and I'll have a more solid answer. If the liquid spilled in the car, I'm shocked it didn't because they were borderline liquid by the time I found them. The fact it didn't soak through the exterior of the bag or on the friend's furniture or in our car is shocking, but speaks to the quality of the interior of the bag, I suppose. An attorney says she needs proof he did it for small claims court. Would him responding to my text claiming he put Jell-O shots in a purse suffice? He refused to acknowledge it was my specific purse via text, just kept saying that he put them in a cheap looking purse and refused to acknowledge that it was mine or a brand. It's unfortunately not my group to exclude him from, but after this, I won't be present when he's around. I always felt gross about him because of his tricks. When I first started coming around, I had left my phone on the table when I went to, and we already found out about the butt picture.
You're like, I refuse to talk about that ever again.
After that, we avoided him like the plague until this last summer, where he yet again targeted me, but in a much milder way. We've seen him once or twice since, and he didn't do anything to me or my stuff, so I was hoping he had scaled back. He wasn't supposed to be there this weekend. He wasn't invited to the dinner, but sure enough, he came after and was acting normal, so I thought I was safe. Surprise! My boyfriend doesn't even care for the guy and would never want to see something I care a lot about and spent a ton on get damaged. Somebody says the purse wasn't even that expensive because since it wasn't $30,000. Is this person a billionaire?
No, I guarantee you
What?
that person is just broke.
$2,800 is a lot when you work your butt off it. He's married, though I've never met his wife, so she could be made up, but I doubt it. I can only assume she enjoys the money he brings in and ignores the fact that he's a jackbutt. Or maybe she's the same way. Who knows? Somebody says the boyfriend and the prankster have an affair. Okay, a lot of crazy accusations have been made about my boyfriend here, but this is the craziest. My boyfriend does not have any close relationship with this guy, let alone some secret rendezvous. I'm also very confident that my partner isn't attracted to the same gender, but even on the off chance that I somehow entirely misgauge his spicy related identity in the several years we've been together, I wouldn't imagine he would have been having spicy relations with an overweight, immature, stinky 50-year-old man. For this theory to shake out, he must also be sleeping with another man in the friend group, as he had bullied another girlfriend in a similar manner. He had taken and hid her phone and made her think she lost it. Once she panicked for a while, searching, he gave it back.
In what way could that have given him positive reinforcement?
Yeah.
Everyone stared at me in awkward silence as I gave her phone back and then just generally moved on and tried to ignore what I had done.
I got a quote for repair, but it was likely futile, as the smell of cheap liquor would likely remain, even if only faintly. Additionally, as a kind commenter pointed out, doing so drastically affects resale value should I ever choose to sell it. For these reasons, I was pursuing him for a replacement purse. I laid all of the information out in writing to him and had my boyfriend hand deliver it to him. Summarize, I broke the cost of replacement down to the penny and threatened legal action should he not replace what he damaged. The next day, one of my boyfriend's other friends showed up with a check made payable to me for the entire amount. I'm sure you all wish it was more exciting than that, but I, for one, am just glad it's over. The only thing that could be seen as funny is the memo line in the check, which was, "See you next Tuesday." Funny. I deposited the check and it cleared, so thankfully he didn't try to play any additional games by having it bounce. I think he knew I was serious and didn't want any more costs adding up should I take him to court. So yeah, that's it. One other quick thing about my boyfriend, since most people didn't read the end of my OG post. People accused him of so many nasty things, setting up the whole thing, not protecting me enough. One person even theorized that my boyfriend was having an affair with this guy. None of these things are true. My boyfriend really isn't close with this guy. He's been around him occasionally, but they never hang out one-on-one or talk outside of when he's in a big group. He's gotten into arguments with him regarding how he treated me in the past and was firm with his stance on us not being around him anymore after this incident. It seems like people think that if he's not resorting to violence, he's a bad guy, but I personally think the opposite. We both have good careers, and him attacking this guy would have led to an arrest and charges, and we don't want that. My boyfriend is a great guy that stood by me and helped me with all of this and was definitely not involved. He's banned from them, and my boyfriend at the beginning of this said we would no longer be around him, period. If he wrote "see you next Tuesday" or the actual word, he wrote the euphemism. So he wrote "see you next Tuesday."
He wrote "see you next Tuesday," which is even worse.
I'm sure he thought he was being slick in more than one way. He knew we refused to see him going forward. To, I think, saying "I'll see ya" is an insult in and of itself. It was a Chanel. But that is the end of that story. Thank goodness that you won't have to be around this man ever.
And you never have to spend $2,800 on Chanel ever again.
Yeah.
Am I the a-hole for not asking my girlfriend's father for permission to marry her?
I guess it depends.
Well, I, 30 male, have been dating my girlfriend, 29 female, for 4 years now. And things have been all around pretty good. We both don't see eye to eye politically on many things with her father, but we still visit him and her mother fairly frequently around the holidays, and he is friendly enough to know not to bring up politics around the both of us because we don't agree, but I digress. By the way, this comes from Watermelon Bison 12, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So I've talked about proposing to my girlfriend over the past couple months and about what she wants, etc. And she mentioned she wanted me to ask her dad for permission.
Okay, so it's coming from her.
Coming from her. So you might be the a-hole if you didn't do that. I was kind of taken aback by this because it isn't a normal thing that my girlfriend would say. So I asked why. She said, because it's something she would like me to do. Just do it. Enough said.
Yeah, because I want it.
Her sister's husband did it, and some wedding funding from him would likely be contingent on me doing this.
Ah.
The old dowry.
Yeah, I need it for the bucks.
Yeah, $40. You get $40 and 30 goats. Let's do a dowry.
Yeah, just keep the bucks. I'll take the goats.
I came back with that I wouldn't be asking another person for permission to marry her. It's an extremely outdated tradition for one, and I'm a 30-year-old person. I can do what I want to do with someone I love. I don't need anyone else's permission.
Yeah.
But you need her permission, and that's something she wants you to do.
You're not standing on... normally I'd be like, you're totally right, because I do kind of think it's like unnecessary when it's you and someone else to be like, hey, parents, are you okay with this? It's like, well, this is between me and you.
Yeah.
But if she says to you, this is what I want, that's a totally different story.
So she got mad and said, I just needed to do it because it's a small thing to ask for. And she wants some of the money to have a few more things at our wedding that we won't be able to afford without it. I'm continuing to stand my ground about not asking for this. Am I the a-hole? There is a lot more story here.
Yeah.
A lot more story than the relevant comments. But is OP the a-hole here?
Kinda. Yeah. Like, given that it's like, okay, daddy's gonna help fund the wedding.
You're turning away money.
And
free money.
Your fiance is literally saying that's what she wants.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he'll probably say yes anyway.
Yeah.
I would assume maybe she just wants you to ask. And then even if he says no, she'll be like, well, that was weird. We're still going to get married.
Yeah.
But well, yeah.
Like you could get money and it's what she wants. Like I don't see what the problem is here.
It's just pride.
Yeah, it's pride.
Being
it's
like,
pride.
I
He's
don't
like,
have
I'm
to.
a man. I don't have to ask another man for my manly desires.
Yeah. And again, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
Not about it just being like, well, I'm a man, but just like the fact that it's like our relationship is no one else's business.
Yeah.
Really. But she's asking.
She's asking. It's like, it's kind of like, oh, like if you propose, I don't want it to be at a baseball game. You know, it's like you could ask at a baseball game and like, you know, you can technically propose anywhere, but is she going to be happier if you don't propose at a baseball game? Like probably.
Yeah. It's like,
no shade on baseball game proposals. It's a preference.
What if she was like, I love red roses.
Yeah.
And you're just like, dude, I'm a daffodil man.
Yeah.
I can't get you red roses, babe. I'm a daffodil man till I die. Just get her the roses.
Just get her the roses.
It's what
proposal
she
for
wants.
her. Anyway, we got a verdict from Reddit. It says no a-holes here.
I mean, like,
I don't know. Relevant comments. I'd say you're the a-hole, says Kova Rose. I can completely understand it being outdated, and I can understand if you end up feeling embarrassed or something by doing it. But she's asking this of you. Being married means that sometimes you compromise on your own comfort to make the other one beyond happy. Also, it's not a bad thing to have financial help towards the wedding. And if asking for permission is a way to do that, it's pretty easy. Yes.
Exactly.
I'll also point out that my husband also contacted my father, but it wasn't, do I have your blessing to marry your daughter? And more like, hey, I love your daughter so much, I'm going to ask her to marry her. It was just more letting him know of his plans, you know? And OP responds, I think that this is the route that I'll propose with my girlfriend. I just don't like the asking permission part. So like you said, if I phrase it more as, I'm doing this and want to let you know because I respect you, I think that will make both sides happy. Thanks for the suggestion.
Dude, just take 1 second to swallow whatever pride that you have surrounding this and just do it. It doesn't have to be like, yeah, well, I'll make it a loophole. Just do it. Just ask.
I also feel like that has a higher chance of going poorly. If you're like, I'm proposing, I don't care. I'm just going to do it.
Just do the freaking thing. Play the part.
When told to ask for her father's blessing rather than permission, I suggested this with asking for both parents and was told that her father will likely want to speak to me alone on it and won't include the mother if I try to ask both of them. Again, I don't mind telling them I'm going to do this, but the blatant you have to ask me and only me is what's really putting me off this. And another Reddit user says, do you think her father would use this as an opportunity to lord it over you? Is he the type of person who would take advantage of the situation, try get you to humble yourself for him? OP said he won't lord it over me, but his personality is to be the overprotective father. The typical, I own a shotgun, so treat her right type. You know, that's a thing he said when I first met him. So it's always been this way. And we have an update.
Yeah, it's a fun guy.
I don't know, man.
That's a fun guy right there. Just do the thing. Do the bit. It's a bit.
You're playing a traditional role, you know? And so, yeah, just do the bit.
It's a very small sacrifice for your fiance.
It really seems like he's not down to sacrifice an ounce of his pride.
It's like, are you really like, Are you worried that he'll say no? Like what?
I think it's purely a pride thing. He's just like doesn't want to bow to another man.
Which is crazy.
Crazy.
Because really, you're just bowing to your wife.
Yeah.
Which you should definitely do. I've heard a lot of guys get great results from doing that kind of thing.
Amen.
The tried and true standard.
It's true. It's fact. Happy wife, happy life.
We got an update. After reading a lot of responses in the original thread, I decided to ask for my girlfriend's parents' blessing.
Which I think, yeah, that's so. Do I have your blessing?
When?
Yes.
I told her I was going to do it. She was very happy. We were going to visit about 2 weeks after I posted the thread, and I figured it would be a good opportunity to ask. So my fiance went for a run one morning, and I was lounging around talking with her parents when I said I'd like to talk to them about something. They both were kind of smiling, like they knew what I was going to say, and immediately her dad says, "Let's go talk in the garage."
Oh, yeah.
2 men. Let's open up a beer.
Just 2 men in a garage.
Him and I go out there, and I phrase it like some people told me. I want to marry your daughter, and I'm letting you know that I plan to propose because I love her. I also want to get your blessing because I respect you and your wife. That's pretty good.
And then after he said that, he went, and he started melting and contorting because his manly pride was being burned out from within him. Or wait, no, that didn't happen because what? That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Hello. Oh my God.
He was pleased with the answer and smiled and gave his approval for me to propose. All I needed. The proposal went great about a month later, romantic and just like I planned. My fiance loved it. So this past Sunday, we were discussing venues and the ceremony, and my fiance casually said, well, Dad wants us to get married in this church, so we'll be doing it here. Now, I'm not religious, and I wouldn't mind getting married in a church, but again, why does his opinion matter for our wedding?
Okay, hey.
So
come here. The money he's providing.
The money helps.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, you don't want him to just completely make it his perfect wedding, you know?
Sure. No, I'm not saying that he would get to do that, but this guy's being like, why does he have a say in it? Buddy, he's providing some money.
Yeah, I do think
I think just location is a fine thing to have.
Some say, but you don't. You want to make sure to toe the line between him to him suggesting things and him demanding things.
But so it's just location. We've got in a church. That's probably very reasonable.
What if you want to do it in Greece?
My big fat Greek wedding.
Yeah.
I'd say, well, let's book the flights.
Well, what if you want to do it in Greece and he wants to do it in his backyard church?
I think, yeah. If it was like overbearing, I think then you have a conversation. Hey, I get it. I think let's make this real easy. We'll like not take your money for the wedding and we'll figure something out by ourselves. But I think him providing money and being like, I want it to be in a church.
I think that's okay.
Very fair, especially considering the guy's probably super traditional. And I would assume maybe his fiance is a little traditional as well.
I think a lot of, so like I have a friend that's getting married and his family's Indian, her family's Mexican. So they're doing like a wedding that is having like Mexican Catholic elements and like Indian Hindu elements.
That's beautiful.
It's like to please both families too.
That just sounds like a fun party.
Yeah, dude. It's going to be
That's going to be
lit.
They're going to have such a cool wedding.
It's going to be lit. So I asked, anything else your dad wants for our wedding? And then said, we also need to stay in separate rooms the night before our wedding. 2 per her father. Hilarious since we've been living together for almost 2 years. This led to a massive argument about the wedding and the role of her dad in her life. I told her that up until a couple months ago, it seemed like she couldn't have cared less about what her dad thought, but would it stop with the wedding, right? Like, would the dad's overbearing opinions of what should happen to the relationship stop the wedding, or would it continue past it?
I think that's a conversation you would have after the wedding. Why are we talking about that right now? You don't live in the future. I think it's a very normal thing. Look, there is always going to be a situation within families or within any context with like a group of people. There's going to be politics. And it's like when they're given like the situation of like a wedding, you're going to have to play politics with the family here.
I do. So I feel like for me right now, I feel like it should be phrased differently on both parts. Like, I feel like for her, it's like, oh, my dad wants this, so we need to do it. Rather than like, oh, like my dad's, like, I feel like it should be phrased more as like, my dad's very religious and like, I don't want to like rock the boat. Can we like add some of these elements? It would make them really happy.
Right.
You know, I guess OP's worried like, oh, is this a sudden change of heart where now the dad's going to be involved in all of our familial matters to an insane degree when it hasn't been before, which I feel like could potentially be an issue, right? Is this going to be a precedent that's going to be set for the relationship? So like, I think you were right. Politicking at weddings is incredibly important, but also like, let's make sure it's politicking and not politicking for the rest of the relationship.
You know, if this guy hasn't been like this the whole time though, I doubt that's the case. And I'm not saying it's not something to talk about. I'm just saying, let's not get ahead of ourselves being like, well, this could be a problem, that could be a problem, and this will be a problem. Like, let's take the problems as they come instead of making them before they exist.
Yeah.
But definitely a thing to be aware of. You don't want the dad to be in charge of y'all's marriage.
Yeah. Slidetove says, it's not the dad's wedding. Kim Fine says, why not just have a sit-down conversation with their parents and just openly discuss dad's expectations so they don't have constant surprises? Okay, Billy time. We've seen this with mother-in-laws, and we tell the bride to leave. I think OP and his fiance have valid points to their side of things. I think I would agree. And Slidetove says, in the wise words of Keon, it's not your day. But I think Dakota has a great point. You know, it also... they are providing money. So if they're providing money, I think they might have a little bit more say, but still, it's not. Would it continue on if we had children? Her excuse was that she was ruining her dream wedding and it was contingent on appeasing her father. She was ruining it? Or she wasn't?
So I'm saying, I think that meant like her excuse is that if we don't do this, it's going to ruin the dream wedding.
Her excuse was that she was ruining her dream wedding. And it was contingent on her appeasing her father. So part of her dream wedding is making sure her dad's happy. Which it sounds like she's like
what she was saying.
I feel like that's what she's saying, right?
You said it one more time.
Her excuse was that she was ruining her dream wedding if like they didn't have it in a church, and it was contingent on appeasing her father. She didn't understand why I couldn't compromise and get her the extra cash to get her the wedding she had always dreamed of, right?
So it's the support. It's not that she has to appease her dad. It's that appeasing her dad gives her the funds that allows her to have the wedding.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it sounds like she's blaming it on her dad, but it really just like she wants this.
Right.
So I told her, I'm not ready to get married if this is the stance you're going to take with your father. And that did not go over well. Whoa!
But it's just in this
What
one
an escalation.
context, guys. This is what I was afraid of. This is spreading into like a whole life generalization. You can't do that because you haven't lived your life yet.
The yelling started and things started being thrown at me. So I left.
God.
I called my buddy and went to his place. He gladly let me come over. I've got tons of missed calls from her. Some texts ranging from I miss you, let's talk about it, to you're an abuser trying to separate me from my family. I just honestly don't know where this behavior is coming from. It's like my fiance has been taken over by some bridezilla that only cares about having a perfect wedding. I'm just taking time to think about everything and what to do next. I'll maybe update again after this, but for now, things aren't looking too great for the future of our relationship. Just trying to keep my head above water. We have some relevant comments. We're barely halfway through. Barely halfway through. But whoa, I feel like, again, if I was to say, like, am I the a-hole? If there was another am I the a-hole question here, I feel like everyone's the a-hole here. I mean, I think he's the a-hole for escalating it. Like, he's like, I don't know if we should be married if, like, this is the stance you're going to take with your father.
It's crazy.
I think she's the a-hole, obviously, for, like, throwing stuff at him and getting angry. But I also think she could do better at communicating here because it's like, oh, my dad wants this. It sounds like she just wants it and she's like putting the blame on her dad. Like, just if you want it, say you want it.
My dad wants this and I want my dad's money. So if we're going to get my dad's money, we have to do what my dad wants in this situation.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And also, I think part of it too is like she wants to like make her dad happy. Right. And so
she's got her whole dream wedding thing. She wants her own thing. This is her day.
Yeah.
So it's like, she's like, the way I get my day is by appeasing my dad. How are you not playing the game right now, dude?
I know. Yeah. It's a little odd.
It's a game.
There's so many politics in the wedding and
right.
he is not playing any of it.
That's why I think it's crazy too to assume like, oh, this is just going to continue for the rest of our lives now. It's like, no.
Yeah.
My dad's not going to just give us a
payment
into our bank account every month for the rest of our lives. Like,
and
this
if
is
he
for
did,
the
and
wedding.
we wanted that, then yeah, maybe he would have a little bit of say, but
but I feel like there's a lot more wrong here given how this played out.
I mean, this exploded quickly. This exploded quickly.
And I do want to put it out there because I saw a comment being like, if the gender roles were swapped, we'd be calling this guy mama's boy. No, because if the gender roles were swapped and it was a mother-in-law instead of a father-in-law, and the mother-in-law still provided the money, she would still have some level of say, given that in order for the partner to have her dream wedding, she would need to appease mom to get the money and have the wedding.
Yeah. And I like,
it's a game.
And I, again, like these kinds of things are normal of religious folk when getting married like this, like, you know, the separate rooms, the married in a church, like these are small consolations for a day. As long as you feel like, as long as she's on board, it's not like it doesn't sound like she's not on board. It sounds like this is part of what she wants for like her day. And it might be like, you know, like Dakota said, it's like playing a part. It's doing a bit like you're doing all these cute little traditions. Like, oh, it's so cute. We're going to like not see, like we're gonna stay in separate rooms, or you know, like when the bride, you're not supposed to see the bride before she comes out. You know, there's like these cute traditions of what it means to get married, and maybe she's just playing it like that.
It's a game, bro. And honestly, and if at any point it goes to now your wife is compromising and trying to do something she doesn't want to do, all right, now it's like, what are we doing? This is supposed to be your day. We're not going to do something you don't want to do.
Yeah. Duchess Cassandra says, I mean, she was raised by these people, so I'm not surprised that she has a lot more traditional values than OP is aware of. Kim Fine says, and now because she wants the shiny wedding and the money, she's disagreeing, disregarding her partner entirely for the sake of a successful transaction. I mean, I think
that goes both ways.
Yeah. But I do think she's maybe being a little bit more dismissive or not like moving. Again, I think there's bad communication on both sides.
I feel like you could label both of them that way.
Yeah.
But I agree.
We got some relevant comments.
Ooh.
OP appeared in the original comments, and this is a downvoted comment. This guy is a control freak. All the things his fiance is suggesting are totally normal things that people do. Having a conversation, not even asking permission per se, just having a conversation and getting their blessing with your intended parents before proposing is totally normal and common. Getting married in a family's church, even if you aren't especially religious, is normal. Most people spend the night before their weddings apart, all totally normal things. These are pretty tame requests from someone who is funding the wedding, and all are things this guy would probably be doing anyway. This dude wants to get into a wiener measuring contest with his future father-in-law and is pissed that his fiance isn't deferring to him. OP responds to this, but I feel like this sums up some of the things we've been saying, but much more harshly.
And I don't I get it. It's a little harsher. I don't get why that's downvoted.
Yeah, and that was downvoted.
And here's the
curious,
crux
do you
of
guys
this.
agree with that?
The crux, there was a comment that said like, and then the dad will do this and he will be the liege lord and he will hold it over. And it's like, if he does that, you go, hey, goofy, why are you trying to be a liege lord? We're going to create distance between us now because you think you're in charge of us when you are not. Boom, problem solved.
Yeah. But I think for this one day, it's like, I feel like a wedding, yes, is for you, but it's also, I mean, it's like a party for your families. It's like a union of two sides of two people.
Right.
And Amy Lynn says, I agree with that comment. We got a response. We would have funded 80% of the wedding. The extra 20% or so were extras that my father-in-law said he would cover, but only if we fulfilled certain requests. I don't mind doing things that she wants, but I want a say in these things too, especially since we will be paying for the majority of it. And when asked if anything new happened here, said to be completely honest, not much. Wedding is still on hold for the moment. We've had maybe 2 brief phone calls, one where it started out okay, then it turned into where she couldn't say anything because she was crying so hard.
Oh my God.
And another brief one to set up a time and place to talk things out. I'll maybe update depending on how it goes. I've been mostly trying to pick up overtime when I can to focus on work. Easier when I don't have to think about all this crap. At least I got some away time to play some Hogwarts Legacy. Lol. We got another update.
Yeah, I think the real core of this now is no longer even the dad. It's just the fact that okay, you guys have completely emotionally imploded.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
there had to have been something lurking there that needs to be addressed and talked through and worked through. Because you guys might be more diametrically opposed on things that y'all didn't realize.
Yeah. I mean, this is also a good point Kim Fine brings up. To go to Sam, do either of you want to marry someone who throws things at you? The money isn't even the biggest red flag conflict happening right now.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're right.
I mean,
she
if they
literally-
throw
she
kisses
was-
at me, if they throw kisses at me and hugs,
Well, a kiss. It's just really a
I'm gonna marry you, Sam.
like a kiss rocket launcher.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no,
Carly.
I mean, I do think throwing things, it depends on like what kinds of things and all that. But, like if it's throwing pillows, maybe that's more okay. And in your general, I don't know. It is like, it is definitely a red flag for sure.
There's something bigger than the dad's financial support
Yeah.
and the wedding being the right way going on here.
And that's why I'm kind of like stressing like the bad communication on both sides too, because if people have good communication and something like this happens, you don't immediately go to like yelling and throwing things at each other, right? So this relationship is not on solid ground.
I just had a thought. It's the fact that this guy couldn't even swallow his pride to ask, which is so normal, being like, hey, do I have your blessing to marry your daughter?
Yeah.
And then in your head being like, I really don't care, but I'm just going to ask it. Imagine how insufferable that guy must be to argue with.
Yeah.
Or like to not even argue, just because there's a difference between arguing and disagreeing. You can just like disagree and it can be like, wow, we just think differently about that. That's totally fine. But he doesn't feel like maybe he's that kind of guy. So, especially when they just fought like that.
And again, that's like the communication thing. It's like there is bad communication all around, right? Like, I mean, this is Milo Emerald says it's a bit of a yellow flag for me. I don't know. I think throwing things of any nature is a red flag. I don't really want that. Ken Fine said something about like, it starts with a pillow and then can escalate. That is a good point. What it shows is a lack of emotional control. And when you don't have that, then a lot of bad things can happen. So
yeah,
Dutch Cassandra says, yeah, pre-divorce, they both suck. I don't think they have good communication.
Doesn't feel like they're.
Yeah. And I think he had bad communication earlier. Like he was like being like, obstinate before, where he was like, I don't want to.
Dude, you think you can hold on to your pride in a marriage and make that work without being miserable? Marriage is all about compromise and letting stuff go and moving forward together.
But we got an update. Hey, all. I've been getting quite a few messages asking how things are going, so I figured I'd give a quick update. The wedding is not happening. We broke up. I've just moved to a new place after staying with a friend for a bit, and I'm just figuring out life, just working and staying busy with my golf league. So we, X and I, tried to make it work for a little while after my update. And I think we both realized that after what had transpired, it was not going to work.
Dang.
So that's what I got for you. Not that exciting, but hey, honestly, life is pretty boring most of the time, unlike what most people on Reddit would like you to believe. But we got another update.
We got a good old-fashioned pre-divorce. A successful pre-divorce, because it didn't sound like they were ready to get married, did it?
But update 3.
Let's go.
Hey, everybody. To be honest, not much has changed. I just moved into a new place. My ex and I separated, and we called off the wedding for about 4 months or so. I didn't have contact with my ex. We just figured it would be best to go our separate ways. I just buried myself in work and kept trying to keep my mind off of her. But out of the blue, I got a message from her asking how I was doing. We ended up texting for a bit over the next couple of days, and we ended up deciding we wanted to meet up for a quick round of drinks to get some closure.
Oh, closure?
Yeah.
Closure?
Quick round of...
Something's getting closed in, that's for sure.
Oh, if you want to get close up and personal with us, you should listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. There's more. But what do we think about this idea of closure?
I don't think there's any closure trying to be found. I think it's that they're trying to get your clothes off.
Ooh, Nailed it.
That hit a lot harder in my head.
No, that nailed it. Nailed it. I liked it.
Closure.
It was the delivery. You
Your
had it.
clothes
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Well,
that was a little better.
So drinks went well, and we continued to text maybe once every 2 weeks or so. One thing led to another, and a random night I got a text from her asking to come over to her new place.
Why did you pause?
So I did.
So I did.
We've kept this arrangement going for a while. No plans on getting back together at all, but it feels nice to feel like a normal person every 2 to 3 weeks. So that's really it. So your wife just turned into your friends with benefits.
Your wife turned into your girlfriend. Congrats.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys were heading towards the absolutely wrong situation.
Work
is, the
is good, and I'm thinking about potentially getting back out into the dating world soon. I'll have to end the arrangement with my ex if so, but I think she'll be understanding. Anyways, appreciate y'all asking about me. This can't be healthy. Relevant comments. Gremlin in Space says, did she ever give any excuse for her behavior back then? Seems kind of wild to go from a happy in love to engaged to broken up in such a short time. OP responds, fair question. I didn't get too deep into that. It basically just came down to her wanting the extra cash for the wedding. She was just so heck bent on having the perfect wedding and was willing to do anything to get that. She realizes she was wrong now, or at least she says she does. My hesitation is obviously still there because I don't know if she is truthful or not. Gremlin in Space responds, saying, I suppose the real question is then, how would this time be different if it was to be a reconciliation? In her desire to get money for a wedding, she instead imploded her entire relationship and got no wedding at all. Seems a steep price to pay for a single day. If you started over, would expectations be different? Would her family accept you back into the fold? She seems to have a rather traditional father/family. Would he give his blessing and financial contribution a second time? And if not, would she be okay with that? Do you even want a relationship with a partner's family that is conditional to you following the rules they have? You aren't just marrying a person, you are marrying into a family. So if you are interested in trying to start again, some of these things might need to be considered. And OP responds, I guess I should clarify when I said back into dating, I didn't mean with my ex. I think we both realized the arrangement is convenient for the time being, but I have no intention of getting into another relationship with her. That trust has been broken. And that is where that story ends.
Okie dokie. Your trust with her has been broken to beyond repair because of that. I don't know. That just sounds like nonsense to me.
I mean, she did throw things at him.
Well, that's different.
She threw a bunch of stuff.
That's like again, they clearly were like toxic and we're not fit to be married, but it's like, I don't know, man. It's nice to feel normal every 2 to 3. It feels normal to be hooking up like friends with benefits with someone who you were going to marry. That makes you feel normal? Whatever you say, guy, I guess.
I've never been in that situation with a wife, but I feel like, I mean, I think we've all been in a situation we've been dating someone and you've broken up and there's a little after period.
I'm sorry, that makes you feel normal?
Not normal.
I've gone through that. It's maybe one of the most confused times of my life. I never felt, oh yeah, this is normal. I'm like, what the hell's going on with my life? What's happening?
I think it's normal to do though.
Well, it's normal to happen, but it's not like, and
right,
now
Keon, come on.
My life is stabilized. You would never be like,
my
it's
girlfriend's
stable.
watching right now.
A previous version of Keon. All right,
Keon
now go.
was a virgin before.
Nah.
Keon had never
Keon
met a woman before, Carly.
I guess
Keon has only
normality.
kissed me.
I honestly, to be honest, for the most part, no. I never did that. Once it was over, I was like, it's over. I don't want to get back to that.
You had no slide back ever. You're telling me you did not one slide back?
I said for the most part, Samuel Donner.
God. All right.
I said for the most part.
There's no saints among us.
Right. Dang.
We've all had slide backs.
Yeah.
Come on. Everyone's had a slide back.
Everyone's done it.
Huh.
I'm sorry, honey. I love you.
We also have another story for you.
My mother who abandoned us wants to reconcile.
You abandoned us. No second chances.
She and my father were high school sweethearts. We lived in a rural place that's not big enough to be called a town, but still larger than your average village. Is there a term for that? Like hamlet? That's not. Maybe that's smaller than a village.
No, I don't.
Anyway, They settled into a farmer's life after graduating and had my brother 7 years later. She left us when my brother was only a month and a half old baby. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Farmer, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, to this day, I can still remember waking up to get ready for school and finding my father on the ground, kneeling over and crying, holding one of my notebooks. I was just a child at the time, and seeing my father curled up like that made me cry too. And that's when my father got a hold of his emotions and righted himself up to pick me up. She, in her hurry to leave, literally took a notebook from my school bag and wrote her half-butt excuses for why she was leaving us. Whoa.
Wow. So we start off with childhood trauma for OP.
Oh my goodness.
Phenomenal.
Wait, OP comes home, or sorry, OP comes downstairs or whatever.
Yeah.
Sees her father
Yeah.
sobbing into one of her notebooks that her mother has just written, "I'm leaving you" with.
Well, we're going to see why she's leaving, which I want to know.
How she never wanted kids, how she shouldn't have gotten pregnant, how things should have turned out differently, how this small town was smothering her around
She's just
her
a small town girl living in a lonely world.
Took the midnight train, going anywhere.
Jeez.
She needed to get away, and now the second child, my brother, was the final noose that wouldn't let her breathe. I learned what she wrote in that notebook a year or so later when I found it in the drawers. He left with our truck and had someone deliver it to us a month or so later without even sending a word or anything. Just some guy came and said, "Here's your truck." My father was a mess afterward, not taking care of the farm, stopped eating, started drinking. It was the fact that I stopped going to school to take care of my brother, along with my aunt, her sister, and her husband's words that finally made him bounce back. But you could see he was sad for a lot of years, and still, even after a decade, he would get all closed up around the time she left or on their anniversaries. It was us, Dad and I, who took care of my brother. I'd come back from school, do the dishes that were left over from our breakfast, and take care of my brother until he was a few years older. Then I slowly became the woman of the house, so to speak. I'd cook the food, do the dishes, take care of my brother after school, while my father would spend nearly all his waking hours trying to manage the farm. Wow. We weren't the richest people around, but with only one depressed adult and 2 small kids, we earned more than what we needed and even saved up a bit for my brother's college fund. My father insisted that I should have one for myself as well, but I was spending too much time on domestic and farm-related stuff to actually focus on my studies. And if I have to be honest, I loved the farm, the animals, and taking care of my brother. Anyway, nearly a year ago, she returned to visit her family, my aunt and us too, and she was apparently planning on settling back here permanently. We knew that she had a good few years of modeling. What? She ran away and became a model?
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Small town model,
imagine being
yeah.
like a child and you're like, yeah, my mom left me. Here she is in the magazines.
She's voguing.
That's my mom, which led to her joining the staff of some sort of magazine from her aunt, as she still called her from time to time. She tried calling us a few times as well, but I refused to talk with her. And I think she was too ashamed to ask to talk with my brother. Anyway, when she came back, she apparently had enough to settle back here with a new house and some land. After a few days of her coming here, she tried to contact us again when she and my dad ran into each other at the town center. My dad says he told her about my opinion on her, but she insisted. Apparently, she owed that to me, and I shoved it, for the lack of a better term, with a few extras on the side as well. She tried the emotional, regretful parent on me, with her crying and all, but I don't buy it. Or rather, I just wish she never came back to disturb us and had lived in her airy, breathable, big city life and left us the heck alone. My brother was not there at the time, as he's in his first year of college. He was admitted via early enrollment, thanks to him being the lovable genius that he is. I knew my dad was still in love with her. I tried to set up a few dates for him before, but it never went anywhere. And that summer, this summer, they started dating again? To my dismay and my brother's joy.
I mean, he's been so lonely, but that's terrible.
No, I'm sorry. You're dating the woman that abandoned you and your kids
Sophia,
years ago?
now he's dating a model.
Yeah, now he's like, well, now she's a model. You have to understand, she's is doing very well for herself.
She's the hottest part of the town now. She's the talk of the town.
I would feel so betrayed as OP.
Yeah.
Like seeing your mom, like literally your dad sobbing on the floor over your mother, you having to become parentified because your mom abandoned you and your dad was in this depressive state and left you. Like, yeah, he was doing a lot of work and trying to keep his family together, but he did parentify you. And you did have to like miss out on schooling and stuff. Like, no matter if he said, oh, you should have a college fund too, and you were like, oh, it's fine, it's fine. He should, as a parent, be like, no, we're getting you a college fund, you know? But he didn't, because he was dealing with all of this stuff. And then after all of those sacrifices, to accept her back is crazy to me.
Yeah. I mean, that's insane to me that she'd even like zero. It seems like zero contact.
Yeah.
Zero help. You know.
Yeah. Is there any
nothing.
monetary, like financial help
It didn't
happening
seem
here?
like it. It seemed like they were working hard. All you know. There's no reason to welcome her back with open arms.
Yeah. No. Is to date her is crazy.
Yeah.
My dad invited her over to dinner when my brother came back from his summer break, and we had a family dinner. I wanted to warn my brother about her, but seeing his enthusiasm about it, I couldn't break his heart. So I just stayed civil and didn't speak unless spoken to. My father had kept that notebook for more than a decade, but I decided to burn it when I was 19. My father and I had a pretty big fight about how I had no right to burn it. But I said to him that it was better than my brother accidentally finding it and reading how his mother thought him a noose around her neck that wouldn't let her breathe. Excellent point. Why is OP?
Sentence.
Yeah, I know. Why is OP having to be the adult in this situation?
It seems like the dad is holding on to like
He's
the
failed.
last. Yeah, he's holding on.
Failed them. Like, I do understand that he has gone through this really terrible. Like, yes, he was depressed. Yes, he was betrayed. But when you're a parent, yeah, like you can't. You're still culpable for.
The father is grasping to the notion of what she was before.
Yeah.
When they were together, he's like, "Oh, I've been yearning for this. I want this back," and that's what it is. And
yeah,
it's not the same. It's never going to be the same.
No, Kim finds his prodigal model.
That's funny. Yeah.
Now, whenever I see her in our house talking with my brother, who looks up to her like a genie finally granted his wish, I remember what she wrote. And the rage and hatred that goes through my very soul is becoming that goddamn noose that won't let me breathe. My brother had a talk with me this morning about me being cold towards her, and it turned heated when my brother said, "Why wouldn't I be happy? I finally have a mother. We finally have a mother." And I shouted back at him, "I was your mother, not that. And I don't have a mother." I made my brother storm out of the house, crying, and seeing him cry made me cry, while my father tried to mediate between us and failed. Of course he's failed. He's failed over and over again. He needs, the guy today says he needs therapy. Absolutely.
He failed the second he let her back.
Well, he failed when he made OP a parent. He failed when he didn't go to therapy after, years and years of being in this, hole, like depressive hole. That, like, I just am very upset on OP's behalf.
It seems like OP literally, once she left out that door, childhood gone.
Yeah. The fact that I can't tell him that I hate her because she detested us, her own gosh darn children, because it will hurt him more. The fact that she abandoned and scorned the loveliest, most innocent looking baby with sky blue eyes when she was supposed to be a mother to him. I was a gosh darn 7-year-old child.
That's insane. 7 years old, and then that day, you're now a parent, pretty much.
I cooed at him and changed his diapers for the first time with my aunt showing me how it's done, and I didn't resent him. I loved him like a brother, and I loved him like she was supposed to. And the little comments people make about her and me now that she's back are just salt to the wound about our likeness. Even my brother once commented on how we looked so alike, smiled like each other, and how she probably looked like me when she had him, and it took all my willpower not to snap at him. I know that being this bitter, cold person will drive my brother away, and I know I should stop if I wish to preserve this blissful moment, even though the cause is her. But I can't help it. The worst part is, since she came back, she's not the heartless piece of crap that left us. She never raised her voice when I cursed at her when my brother was not around, or told her to leave us alone. Or when I asked if she was avoiding me because I shouldn't have been born at all and she's trying to fix a mistake by avoiding me. I once even told her, does she think about the noose when my brother hugs her? And she just looked gut-wrenched and got teary-eyed, but only apologized and didn't try to defend herself. I can't even enjoy hurting her. She doesn't fight back. She's not the monster I made her out to be. At least she isn't now. The worst part today made me resentful and tired, like I don't even have the strength to feel emotions. I actually understand the resentfulness now. But we'd never resent you. If you're listening to full episodes of stories just like this, just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to the story.
Yeah.
I think that your mom has probably gone through a lot. She was probably very young when she had you two, and she didn't know how to deal with being a mother, and she probably had to take on a lot of the childcare while your dad was working on like the farm. Does that mean that you have to forgive her right now? No.
No way. No. But
No.
I feel like OP, you don't owe your mother anything.
No.
But I feel like a conversation, just you and her, just saying
Yes.
how you feel and how she made you feel when you left and everything
Absolutely.
you know that's happened, and what she made you go through, you need to tell her that, and she needs to understand and realize that she failed as well as a mother.
And also, I think therapy, because you don't want to hold on to this resentment and anger and stuff,
It's just gonna grow.
because it just hurts you.
Yeah.
And your dad has forgiven her. Okay, your brother your brother probably never had those feelings because he was too young.
Yeah, and he's also just he's blinded by I have a mom now.
Yeah.
I finally have a mom, but he
Mhm.
also that kind of like is again a gut wrench to OP
Yeah,
because
for everything that you've done. Even though he doesn't quite understand everything you've done, you have still done it. You have still helped him get to this point. You have still taken care of him, and that like her being back doesn't negate all of the time and effort.
it doesn't feel the
parenting.
void. Yeah, it doesn't feel that void that you guys were motherless.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Yeah, no, OP, it doesn't mean that you didn't do all of that. You were there when she wasn't.
And don't let your family try and coerce you and make you feel bad for the way you feel, because it's true. These are your feelings. Don't just shove them down.
Yeah, and your brother's gonna have totally different feelings, and that's his right. And maybe she'll hurt him again. Hopefully not, but I think it's just focusing on you and trying to not, direct that anger at anyone else.
Yeah.
Feel that anger, feel your emotions in a healthy way. And then just, you can, have that conversation with her and say like, hey, unfortunately, I understand you're back with my dad. You have that relationship with my brother. You've lost your chance to have a relationship with me.
Yeah.
I'll be nice, but you've lost that.
It's not going to be, you're my mom now. You are you, I am me. Great.
That's
Let's
it.
be adult here.
But there's a little bit left.
Mhm.
Am I truly just like her for resenting my brother for forgiving her and calling her his mother when I raised him myself with a depressed father at home when I was just a child myself? Or the fact that my father accepted her so quickly makes me see him as a weak-willed man that makes me question the respect I have for him? Did I resent the fact that I stayed here on the farm and not going to college? They made me skip a grade as well before my mother left us. Would I find some sort of new outlook on life at college that would make me more like my brother or father and be happy instead of being resentful? So my question is, what am I going to do now? I think very easy answers. It doesn't seem easy. Therapy.
100%.
And focus on yourself. You've spent so long being the adult, being the parent, that you don't know how to be a kid. You don't know how to look after yourself.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Look after yourself. What do you need? Do you want to go to college?
It's never too late.
Ask your, it's like, talk to your dad. Say, I want to go to college.
Yeah.
I know that
everyone
we
says
spoke
it's too
about.
late, but
yeah, it's like, no. If you want that, take that. Do that.
If she's back and we don't know, for how long, or if she's, there for good, your brother's an adult. Your dad is an adult now. I mean, your brother's in college too, but I think this is what Sophia said. Just go be free. You've had this shadow over your head of your mother leaving. This is the perfect time, or not the perfect time. There's no really perfect time now, but this is the time for you to actually just go learn who you are, what you want to do. And I mean, I know it seems like OP likes farms.
Yeah. Maybe you can get like a degree in farming.
Yeah.
In agriculture. But,
There's a big world out there.
yeah. Folks, that is the end of that story.
My wife abandoned our family before our wedding, but now she wants back in.
Deal me in, partner.
My story begins 16 years ago when I met Lucy. She was an amazing girl, intelligent, beautiful, fancy, funny, just the greatest girl I ever met. I felt so lucky when we started dating. By the way, this comes from user Robbie Rod. There we go. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, after a year into the relationship, we had a baby. I was living the dream, living with my girlfriend, raising our little daughter, being a happy family. I loved Lucy so much. And after some years, we were finally getting married. Our daughter was the most excited one about our wedding. She was going to be the flower girl. Everything seemed to be perfect, but looks are not always as they seem.
Oh, do tell.
So, one day, when I was heading back home, a guy wanted to talk with me. At first, I believed he may want to sell me something until he mentioned Lucy. Politely, he asked me to talk in a private place. He then asked me to please stop everything about the wedding and step back because he and Lucy wanted to be together.
Oh, at least he said please.
So, I didn't believe him until he started to tell me a lot of details about Lucy that would be impossible to know. I returned home as fast as I could. I didn't want this to be true and told her about it, hoping it was all a mistake. But no, it wasn't. The next hour, she told me everything. She'd been cheating on me for the last 2 years. She told me about how all the times she said she loved me, that she wanted us to be together, and she loved our family, were all lies. A moment of silence for this guy real quick.
Wow.
All right. She told you, your life is a...
That's tough, partner.
Ooh. She then told me how her new man was younger and stronger and handsome and a better lover.
Oh, God. What is this, a cartoon?
The worst they can say is no.
Oh, God.
She said that she didn't want to be tied to me. How she lost her freedom for being a mother and she didn't want to be a wife, that she wanted her freedom back. The final stab was when she said she was happy that I finally knew, and now she was able to leave. Speechless. I cried, begged, humiliated myself, and got on my knees asking for another chance to try to fix our relationship, but she didn't want it. She wanted the thrill and excitement that this new guy made her feel. By the next day, she left us. My daughter was heartbroken.
Oh.
Her mother left, and she believed it was her fault. Fortunately, we had help. My family and Lucy's family supported us in any way possible. Her parents were so ashamed of their daughter's actions that they couldn't look me in the face without apologizing for everything she did. I will be in debt to everyone forever for all their help. Fast forward 10 years later.
Whoa.
After lots of time and therapy, my daughter and I are living happily.
Aww.
She is the light of my life, a beautiful 15-year-old lady who I love. Our wounds are healed, and we have a very good life.
Yay.
But then...
No.
She came back. She's back.
Here we go.
When my daughter and I were getting back home, we found Lucy in front of our apartment waiting for us, wanting to talk. I recognized her immediately, and I would like to say that I did something cool, like ignoring her or asking her to leave, or like at least being hostile with her. But no, I'm an idiot. My heart skipped a beat the moment I saw her. She was still beautiful as before, but somehow she looked even better. Maybe the age made her look mature and elegant. Maybe the dress or the makeup. I don't know. But I let her in while our daughter gave us some space and went to her room. She told me everything she did since she left. Basically, she lived with that guy for a handful of years. She said how much she enjoyed it, all the fun she got, and how she believed those were the best years of her life. Until she noticed that the excitement of that new relationship was fading slowly. I'm sorry, did this idiot just realize, like, good things don't last forever? Like, I'm sorry, children learn about this concept when they're like 9, 5, even younger. At some point, she started to cheat on that guy too. According to her, she wanted to feel alive and excited. So at this point, I'd be like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Why are you here? Why are you telling me this?
Don't you know how painful it is to hear you be like, oh, so all these years and great. And like, makes me feel like crap. And I finally, like.
What an idiot. God. These were the best years of my life. And I still cheated on him. Do you want me back, by the way? Are you crazy?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So eventually, that relationship ended and she started dating other guys. Every relationship became shorter than the previous one until she only had casual hookups. She also said that sometimes she thought about us and our family, but she said she was too proud to admit she made a mistake. Until last year, she got the vid and it hit her really hard to the point where she believed she could pass away and realized how alone she was, how stupid she was, and the mistake she made so long ago.
Yep.
Right.
Yes.
Glad you know that now. Go away.
That was perfectly
Wow.
timed. Wow.
Wow. I'm so glad we got that.
Wow. That was, another team effort. After all of that, she said she regretted everything she did and now she was ready to marry me and be the family we were always meant to be. When she was done, I asked her to leave, to give me some time to think. I'm so mad that you need longer than a half second to think about this, OP.
Dude.
She accepted, saying she would be back the next day. For years, I dreamed about her coming back, and now it was happening, but it just felt wrong. Since then, she visits almost daily, wanting to talk about the best years of our relationship and how we could be a happy family again. I asked for help from my family and friends. Most of them said I would be making the worst mistake of my life if I took her back.
That's correct.
It's basically on a big flashing neon sign right in front of you. Like a runaway. Others have said that I should give her a chance. It took me a lot to heal and some more time to start making new relationships, and I would be risking everything. One night, my daughter and I had a deep conversation about all this. I always try to involve her in every part of our life, and this issue concerned her too, because it's her mother. Sometimes she surprises me, being so wise and mature, because she told me, quote, "Can you really love someone that hurts us so much?" And that was everything I needed.
There it is. God.
From the mouth of babes, and it was your babes, the one you had with your ex-wife, who should still be your ex-wife.
Yes.
I would never forgive myself if I let her hurt my daughter again. And I said that to Lucy. If she wants to be around or have a relationship with our daughter, I'm okay with it, only if my daughter wants it. But I told her we are not getting back together. Lucy only said that she would make me fall in love with her again and that she would not give up. And there's an update. Oh, John, what do you have to say about this?
Dude.
What are we saying?
This is okay. Like, we get stories where there's a little nuance. We get stories where we get to see the beautiful and complex tapestry that is the human experience. This one is as black and white and simple and on a billboard right in front of your face as it possibly can be. And that billboard reads, "Run."
Here's the update. We're going to get into it. Let's go. Since the post, she had been insisting on meeting. She wanted to talk. I decided to have one last talk with her and set my boundaries, so we met in a public place. The talk was long and hard. I wanted her to be honest, and I told her the moment I caught a lie, I was leaving. I asked if she was really sorry, or are we her last option? Did she really love us, or are we just a consolation prize? Did she come back for love, or because she was unable to find another man anymore? She was unable to answer any of that. She only said things like, "It's not like that. Or, you need to understand me. I'm not like this anymore." She kept insisting on giving her another chance, that we can love each other again, that we could be together. She never even mentioned our daughter at any moment. Only after I pointed it out, she started to mention her. When I tried to settle that we were over, she grabbed my hand, and as some of you told me she would do, she tried to seduce me.
Uh-oh.
Pulling down her blouse, showing me her cleavage, and saying, "We can find a room so we can do something to compensate me."
What?
This is truly a person who doesn't
Compensate?
understand how to move through life in a non-transactional fashion. Every relationship she's in, she's like, "Oh, you're no longer giving me that thing that I want. Because of that, I'm justified in leaving you." And she did that over and over and over again, learned nothing, and came back to OP.
She said, "I'm going to compensate you because I left you and I've been cheating." Oh, dude.
Compensate, also crazy word to use here.
Crazy word.
word.
Yeah.
Just just on top of everything, all the other insanity. Just wow.
So, I didn't recognize that woman. She was not the amazing girl I met, not the mother of my daughter. I don't know who that woman was, but she wasn't my Lucy. I told her to let me go and that we were over. Neither I nor my daughter wanted anything to do with her, so please leave us alone. We were living a good life without her. She then went mad, saying I couldn't leave her and that it wasn't my choice and that she doesn't have anything else, that I can't take away her daughter. Dang, you should have thought about that before you abandoned her 10 years ago.
And then did nothing for 10 years.
Yeah.
Where was this energy?
Crazy. I still don't know why, but that last sentence triggered me. The next are not my exact words, but are close to what I said at the moment. Quote, your daughter? Your daughter? You are not her mother. You only gave birth to her, but you are not your mother. Tell me, where were you when she was sick? Where were you when she had a fever? When she was scared in the night? When her first teeth fell out? When she cried in the nights because she missed her mom? Where were you on her first day of school? When she had her first period? When she had her first boyfriend? When her heart broke for the second time because the first one who broke it was her mother? Which dude were you riding when she needed a mom? Damn. You have no right to claim you are her mother because you never acted like that.
Yes. OP. That's the type of energy we should have had the first time, but that's okay. That's okay because we have the energy now.
We got there.
We got there. Yeah. Yikes.
She tried to reply, but I saw how she was unable to find the words. I left her. And by the way, we'll never leave you with a moment deprived of OK Storytime.
That's right.
Because you can just go to Spotify or iHeartRadio or whatever podcast platform you enjoy the most and just search OK Storytime, and you can listen to over 2,500 episodes of our show. And that number is just always going to go up.
Right up there.
Right up
for you
to the heat death of the universe.
That's right.
But we're approaching the heat death of this story.
Oh my.
Back at home, she sent me some texts asking for another meeting, for another chance, saying that she loves me and she can change. But I'm done. You all were right. She doesn't love me or our daughter at all. She only loves herself. Having her in my life would be bad and toxic. I don't need that, and I don't need her. My daughter and I are going back to therapy soon. Some of you were right. I need to work on myself, be stronger, and get over those feelings for her because they're not real, just a memory of what I thought she was. Great place to erase all those memories is the gym, my guy.
Dakota's ready to freaking lift over
I feel like I could, as a relatively weak individual who needs to go to the gym more, if I read that sentence like 3 times in a row, I could bench 250.
Hulk.
Just
Hulk.
From pure rage, I could bench 250 off
There
that.
we go.
But that is the end of that story.
That's it.
I hired a house sitter from an app, and she ended up stealing from me.
Oh, what? You can't trust someone on the internet? That's crazy.
Hired a sitter on Rover over a month ago for a trip this week from last Saturday through Friday to house sit at my house. We did a meet and greet. I liked her. She had 8 5-star reviews over the last year and a half, with the last several months of verified stays. Booked through Rover. We did exchange WhatsApp numbers because I'm out of the country on this trip and do not have an international calling plan. By the way, this comes from user Dragon Master Ash, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. She sent messages the first few days. Wednesday at 3 a.m., she sent a message that she had been sick with a stomach bug, but was feeling better. She asked a question about one dog's behavior, sitting in the bathroom and barking, and I responded. She probably wants fresh water. She's asking to drink from the toilet. I didn't hear anything, so I sent several messages checking in on WhatsApp and Rover. No response. I checked my smart lock on my door, and there was very minimal locking and unlocking, and always from the inside. I checked my camera outside that door. My dogs happened to be outside, so I watched them. Then I hear a man I don't know, say, okay, one last shot. Then the man whistles for the dogs to come inside, and she wobbles into the doorway. They walk out, and she falls over, and he catches her. They leave together in, I assume, his vehicle. She was barefoot and obviously heavily intoxicated. That was 4 p.m. on Thursday. I sent my friend over around midnight to check on the dogs and let them out. She found my bottles of liqueur all empty, all over the dining table. They were all either brand new or over were half full. A handful of seltzers, empty and in the trash, and a container of kratom on the table and several more in the trash. A couple empty bottles of a THC drink with more in the fridge that are not mine. A vape pen on the table. Loose pills in the bottom of her purse. Methylcarbamol 500 milligrams. That matches the prescription my dog has, but she had more than what my dog was prescribed, so either none or only some were stolen from my dog. My boxes where I keep medications were taken down from the cabinet in the bathroom and set on the counter and back of the toilet. I won't know if any are missing until I get home, but I have the things worth stealing with me, and the toilet was clogged. The second toilet has a towel under it like it was leaking, which it has never done before. My dogs free feed. I keep food in their bowls at all times. Both bowls were empty. Their water, a 2-gallon bowl with a fountain, was empty. My friend put 2.5 cups of food in both bowls and they immediately ate all of it. Then she put another 5 cups in both bowls and they kept eating. They never do this, so they hadn't been fed in a long time. Thank you for reading this far. I want to know, what is every single step I should take next? I've already made a report to Rover. I can't call their number until I'm back in the country at my layover around 6:30 p.m. today. I sent them all the pictures from my friend and the video from my camera of her falling over. They're sending it to their trust and safety team and said I should get a response within 24 hours. They've offered no alternatives to pet care in the meantime. My friend spoke with the police and they said her stuff is abandoned property, so have her car towed and do whatever with her things inside my house. If she comes back, I can keep her stuff until I'm home and make sure she only leaves with her things. I've deactivated her door code, so it won't work, and all doors are locked, but I'll see if she attempts to come back and use her code. Her car is still in my driveway. My friend peeked inside and saw synthetic urine inside. I have not had any communication since the message Wednesday. How much liability is on Rover? And there's some comments. Yeah, I feel like this OP doesn't have any questions other than who do I need to sue and how hard can I sue them? Bulky District 2757 says, this is insane. I'd imagine Rover will refund you and then ban the sitter. OP says, I do also feel like that much is guaranteed. I'm not sure about the several $100s in drink she has consumed. Is that a civil suit? Can I even get her info from Rover to be able to file that? And I have no idea the cost of the toilet repair. Scooty Doody says, hey, so she got really effed up and a man came and took her away and she never returned for her car or any of her stuff. Am I the only one actually concerned for the sitter's well-being? What if she's been kidnapped? She had good reviews and 1.5 years of them to boot. This is really abnormal behavior from what I can see. OP says she definitely knew the man who showed up. He seemed concerned when he first got there and he stayed for a while before they left together. He was helping her to the car. It seemed like he came to help. OP replies, I was also wondering how someone with this level of substance use could have passed the background check. I have her last name because she has business cards in her purse and a vague address from the Rover profile. Anna XD says none of the substances that were being used are illegal, so as long as the sitter hasn't committed a crime adject to regular using, theft, DUI, etc., there's no reason why they would not pass a background check. Sounds like the sitter is smart enough to have a designated driver if they left their vehicle in OP's driveway. However, it seems like their sticky finger will eventually land them a theft charge. OP says, well, it's theft now. All the liquor bottles were mine and the seltzers, and there's an update. After going through the whole house, there were methylcarbamol pills scattered everywhere throughout her things, as well as a few Sudafed, amoxicillin, another vape, and many of those little boxes of kratom. Inside her box of cosmetics, inside her box of yarn and crochet supplies, inside multiple pockets of her purse. I threw all of it away. She has a prescription bottle for sertraline. It was on the floor in a bag, and thank God my dogs didn't get into it. My custom-built gaming table, the floor under it, and the chair that was on that end of the table are all incredibly sticky and nasty. Multiple towels were in the washing machine. The towel on the floor of the spare bath smells like crap, so did her clothes in the spare room. The main bath was clogged because the tank was empty, because the water was shut off. It appears to be flushing now. Hopefully that's functional. The toilet is stinky nasty. The spare bath is stinky nasty. The dogs were happy to see me. I brought them chicken nuggets. I turned my back and Guinea ate half my burger bun too. That counter-surfing goon. Both are currently napping on either side of me. I'll investigate the yard in the morning, given that I found some empty cans and a cigarette butt on the front porch. Her car is still out front. It's parked entirely off the street with all 4 wheels in the grass between my yard and my neighbor's yard. I'm still going through all the camera footage. And there's more. The man was there longer and she stumbled into the house at 9 a.m. Wednesday. I think they were gone all Tuesday night. I will update once I can finish reviewing all that. No new responses from Rover. Update 2. 5 days later, I finished reviewing all of the camera footage. It took most of the Saturday and Sunday after arriving home. The sitter arrived at my home at 10:30 a.m. Saturday. I hadn't requested her to start until the afternoon, but she said she happened to be off work, so would show up early. She started drinking the seltzers on the front porch at 11 a.m. that day. She notices the camera and tries to hide the cans in her dress as she drinks them outside Saturday and Sunday. She also smokes outside those days. I found an empty box of the devil's lettuce and saw her bring that into the house. Plus, I found a lighter. I assume that's what she was smoking. Her boyfriend starts showing up on Tuesday and shows up every day after that, usually twice a day. I've never met him and never agreed to allow him in my house. She appears wasted while leaving Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. and no one returns until she comes back Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. Also stumbling. She sent me an update at 3:30 a.m. while not even at my house to say she had a stomach bug and ask about my one dog barking in the bathroom. I responded saying she was asking for water. That was the last communication I had from her until Friday morning when her boyfriend tried to get into the house with her code. I sent several messages and requests for updates via Rover and WhatsApp, but didn't hear back. First time my door opens on Thursday is at 3:45 p.m. when her boyfriend shows up. It's possible she let the dogs out in the backyard, but until then they had been going out the side door with the camera quite often, so I suspect they weren't let out at all that day. Watching the full video, her boyfriend has a moment of breaking down crying, facing the outdoor camera with his back to her after finding her, so I don't think he was encouraging her to drink. His full comment after listening very closely is take one last shot and then we'll go. And there's another quieter, we gotta get out of here. I think he was just trying to convince her to leave. I do think it's possible she was actually in the hospital. I never saw anyone else show up to the house, so given how much she drank, she absolutely should have been in the hospital. In general, the videos were a lot of just the dogs being outside, barking to come in, wandering around, and Ginny begging for someone to throw her frisbee. It was so hard to watch them be ignored like that. I feel guilty for not keeping a closer eye on my camera. I normally watch the door locking and unlocking and use that to check the camera, but she wasn't locking it, even overnight or when she left the house. I know I wouldn't have caught the early signs of drinking the seltzers unless I was watching every single video, but I'm feeling the parent guilt over everything my babies went through. I've written out a full timeline of events, saved all relevant videos, saved screenshots of all conversations on WhatsApp and Rover, printed all emails with Rover, included a copy of my dog's sitting instructions, and collected every photo from myself and my friends. I updated the itemized list to include the actual amount of time my friends spent there, screenshots of Uber costs, and things like that, plus court costs. I ordered all photos to be printed to bring to court. I'm not sure how to share the videos other than bring my tablet to court with me, but I took the most damning screenshot from every video and added that to the printed photos. I officially filed paperwork for a civil suit against her, and the sheriff has everything to serve her. After double-checking all the costs of everything, getting the total from the housekeeper, and adding the court-related costs, I'm suing for $1,124. If all goes well, court will be mid-May. I'm sorry, I hate to say this, OP. Maybe I'm just a cynic. You're not getting that money. You're not going to get that money from her until the government garnishes her bank account. I searched public records in my area for her, and she has no records for crimes or probation that I could find. I'm guessing the synthetic urine was to pass a substance screen for work. I was able to get a housekeeper to come Monday to help with the sticky mess and gross bathrooms. I've been doing laundry for days in between all of the documentation. Everything in my house feels gross and violated. The pups are acting relatively normal, maybe a little more tired than usual. The independent hound dog is definitely clingier than usual and actually listening when I tell her to come. The Carolina dog couldn't possibly get more clingy than she already was, and she's acting perfectly normal. The vet said after 6 days without it, the Prozac is basically out of Ginny's system, and it could take another 6 to 8 weeks to see full effects again. There's also a chance it will not work at all anymore after suddenly stopping it. So far, it does seem she's calmer, so I'm hoping she's feeling better to be back on it and home safe with Mama. Relevant comments. Super Crush says, I've been waiting for this update. I cannot imagine how someone could do this while responsible for someone else's babies / in another person's home. I wish you all the best with your case and hope to get more updates. Has the sitter said anything else to you? OP says, not sure if you read all the updates on the other post. So she apologized for making me uncomfortable and leaving my house a mess and said she hadn't drank in 9 years, then threatened me for keeping her things. I said that her things were in her car and it had been towed. And if she wanted to settle things out of court, here's the itemized list. I listed out all of the drink, cleaning fees, and extra sitters for 3 check-ins after she left. She said she'll have her lawyer call me, and this is a cease and desist. I haven't heard anything from her since then. So when discussing what costs to add to the civil suit, Mind Over Entropy says the time you spent cleaning, the vet costs, and the time there should also be included, and I hope they were. Prior Talk 7726 says, and you said you hired a house cleaner, include that too. OP replies, I included the house cleaner with a receipt signed by both of us. I haven't included my time spent cleaning. I can bring that up in court and see what they say. Shrinking Nadia said, and the time your friend took to go over and check things out and consider a lawyer. OP says, yes, I included Uber for friends and the time they spent there for the 3 check-ins until I could get home. And we have a third update. So I showed up at the most recent court date. I tried to have the sheriff serve her. Paperwork returned as multiple failed attempts. I sent certified mail to her home and returned undeliverable. I sent certified mail to her business and someone, not her, signed for it, and that was returned to the court as well. The judge said that I have to continue to attempt and they cannot hear the case until she is served. My only allowed options for serving her are via sheriff or certified mail. So I need help. How do I find her and get her served? The sheriff and post office left notes that they attempted to reach her, so she knows I'm after her. And by the way, if you're after more stories, you can find them in the episodes we have on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen to podcasts. All you need to do is search OK Storytime. I have the following information on her because of everything she left in my house, which has since been returned. Her full name, address at the time of events, her frequently used usernames from her Cash App credit card, her social security number, her card was in her things, current and former driver's license, her past workplaces, and her now expired car dealership seller license number. It's not searchable, unfortunately. I found her Facebook page that has minimal public info, Instagram that is barely used, and a Reddit account frequently used, but nothing on this subreddit. Based on what I have, it looks like she moved to another city 2.5 hours away, but in the same state. I'm not sure if it's allowed to post the state, but that's super relevant because legal issues vary so wildly from state to state. So I'll put it in a comment in case that needs to be deleted. Relevant comments, OP says the state is North Carolina. Why not hire someone to serve her? Hilarious. Individuals aren't allowed to serve in my state, unfortunately, or I would absolutely be down for such antics. And that is the end of that story.
Oh, wow.
Look.
Wow. It's over just like that.
So this is what you need to do is a good old-fashioned public shaming. People need to know that they can't trust this person to come into their homes. They can't trust this person in their place of business.
Yeah.
People need to know that they cannot trust this person around their medication or their pets.
Yeah, like, I mean, if this is bad press for the website, like, but that's not our fault.
My partner hates me for giving our baby my last name.
I feel like that's a normal thing to give your baby.
Maybe their last name is just terrible.
Yeah.
Trigger warning. Death.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Let's go.
Okay.
I had a baby some weeks ago with my partner to whom I am not married. We've been together for a while and I've given many compromises in this relationship. While discussing baby's name, we had a few disagreements on names, but ultimately decided on a name we both liked well enough. It's like he just wanted to name the baby Voltron or something.
That's a sick name.
What's his name? I've been naming my baby that right now. By the way, this comes from user CarelessHornet4343. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So the surname was a sticking point. He wanted the baby to have his name alone. I offered to hyphenate because logistically it's easier for the baby to have both of our names.
Right, because they're not married.
Right.
Yeah.
He's been drinking the red pill Kool-Aid lately, a large bone of contention in this relationship, and went off about how it's tradition and the right thing to do and his right as a man to have the baby have his surname. You know what else is tradition, buddy? Marriage.
I think maybe you would have more ground to stand on if you guys were married.
Yeah, because right now you're like falling through the sky. You have no ground.
Yeah,
you stand on.
You got no ground.
You just have a bad algorithm, brother. He told me that I'd be emasculating him and may as well be a single parent if I won't grant him this one little ask. My word is final. The baby is having one surname. This was late in my pregnancy and I didn't have it in me to fight. So I told him that I understood what he was saying. Fast forward to 3 weeks ago when baby's birth certificate came, he blew a gasket when he saw that I'd given the baby my surname. He rehashed the conversation above, saying I'd agreed to giving baby his surname. And this is where I might be the a-hole. I did nothing of the sort. I told him I understood him, which I did, but I never said I agreed with him. Way to go. You hit him with the loophole.
Whew.
But he's being an a-hole. So, like, you got him.
Just be like me.
Read the fine print, my guy.
I don't know. My parents weren't married when they had me. I have 2 last names.
It's normal. He's trying to make this a power play move. Your baby's not a power play, brother. It's your baby. It's her baby too. It's OP's baby. It's y'all's baby.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't have if I was her and I wanted the least amount of drama possible. I just would have done the hyphenated thing instead of just her name.
Me, look at me. I turned out not okay.
Yeah, hyphenated is fine.
I told him there was no way I was doing all the work of making a baby for him to just stick his name on it. When he brought up tradition, I told him it's also traditional for him to marry me before having a baby, but he was happy to ignore that. I told him it was traditional for him to be the provider, but I do that too. And
that's a great point, dude. If you're not doing anything.
That's what I'm saying. You can't just be like, well, it's tradition, if you're not doing all of the tradition stuff.
Yeah. The traditions come with responsibilities. You can't just shirk all of the responsibilities.
Yeah, bro. You're just being a loser right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You're trying to win a fight over your baby? And I pointed out other holes in his logic. I told him trying to bully me into submission with his red pill BS when I was exhausted from pregnancy didn't work. He should have known better than to expect me to not share a surname with my child. He said the baby should only have one surname. They do. So why is he mad? He went crying to his brothers and mother, all traditionalists and misogynists, and now they're all up in arms. Am I the a-hole? I don't think you're the a-hole. Look, and this can always be amended to be hyphenated.
Yes,
I think this was more a thing to be like, see how it feels? You wanted me to be on your side. See how you're upset? I would be upset. Do we understand? Right?
I feel like the most angel thing to do would have been to hyphenate the name, because I think that would have been most fair. To like totally leave him off if they're going to have joint custody, which it seems like they are.
Wait, you can amend that, right?
A name?
Can you not amend a birth certificate?
I mean, it's not, I don't think it's like a super easy, but you can change your name. But I don't know how
I guess
easy
I've never
it is.
really thought about that.
But I
about
don't know.
changing the birth certificate.
I feel like it is not the best thing to do. He's obviously acting like a total a-hole.
Yeah.
All right. Like here's the issue. If you're trying to have joint custody with this guy, like why do the thing that would make him most upset? Like do the hyphenated thing that seems like that feels like the middle ground, which you presented. Like do that. And yes, he's gonna be mad, but like that, there he has no right to be.
You know what I bet he does there though? I bet he just completely ignores her part of the hyphen. He will just never acknowledge that is.
I mean,
the baby's name.
That's prerogative, but I think
feels like you guys aren't a great match.
Yeah, you're definitely not a great match. But I would say like, is this some? I mean, can you get full custody? Is this not someone you could like? Can you not get full custody here? Did he sign the birth certificate? I don't even know if he was there. Caitlin Van Campen says, it's definitely not easy. I was going to get my dad's last name off my name, and it was a process in Colorado. Haven't done it yet. Freddie Horse Ranch says, she has to take it to the appointment, school, etc. He is going to be useless. The baby isn't born yet. Kelsey Jade.
I'm not catering to any red pill ideology.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not doing that.
I don't think she should give it just like his last name for sure, and he's acting like a total a-hole. But I don't know if like that bait and switch is a good move, even if he's acting like an a-hole.
Honestly,
but I'm down to be wrong on this. I would love to know what you guys think.
My initial vibe on this guy is, I bet you he's just gonna leave. I bet you he's gonna be like, and this is my perfect out because that's not my child. He's gonna pull one of those. I'd put money on it.
Let's see.
Edit. We are not married or engaged. I don't believe in it. And he's never seen the point of bringing the state into your relationship. So we agreed to never marry. Buddy, it's the benefits that you get from it. He's on the birth certificate as the father of the baby. The baby just has my last name, but father is listed. Relevant comments here.
That makes you feel like he's still the a-hole, but just putting your name, because it sounds like they are together, but
I don't know.
But they both just didn't want to get married.
It sounds like they're low key. It sounds like they hate each other.
It does sound like that's
the
that's a
vibe.
vibe that I got, that they don't like each other, but it
Right.
sounds like they are together in a relationship.
Don't be. Don't be in a relationship with someone you hate.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Don't do that.
Someone says, "Oh my God, I think I know OP."
That's
Do you?
crazy. This is crazy.
If you do, let me know.
All right, let's keep going. Commenter here says, not the a-hole. You told the truth and nothing more. If I read your post correctly, you agreed the baby would have one surname. You didn't agree to which one. So why are you still with this guy? He doesn't respect you. He doesn't provide for you and the baby. So please don't stay because you need him or love him.
That is a great point.
OP says, I am reconsidering the relationship. The truth is he wasn't always like this. He fell on hard times and unfortunately chose to cope with that in an unhealthy way. At his core, I believe he is good, but I need to have a frank conversation about the ideologies he's leaning into and the harm it's causing in our relationship. To another commenter asking why she is with him, I hate that I sound like every enabler and perhaps I need to do some introspection to see if that's what I've become, but he wasn't always like this. Life has been hard lately and his coping strategies have led us to here. I need to have a conversation about this. Commenter says, not the a-hole, and please do not relent and change the baby's name. I just had a baby in August and crap is tiring. Congrats on your new addition and my condolences that you have to spend 18 years dealing with this family though. OP says, I'm beyond in love with my tiny human. I hope you're doing well too with yours. Should this spell the end, I'm lucky to have my village and the means to minimize the suckiness of breakups. There's no world in which any child I birth will not share a surname with me. My compromise of a double-barreled surname stands. No other offer is on the table. Info, asks a commenter, why are you still in contact with all those people that do nothing for you? It seems you would lose a lot of stress, anxiety, and financial hardships by just cutting this person loose.
I agree. Yeah, you are right. It does feel like they don't like each other.
Yeah, OP asks for clarification here. Which people? Sorry, baby's dad and his family? He stormed out on Thursday night. Friday morning, his mother sent me a voice note berating me. Ha. I've received messages from his family criticizing me for my decision, but no word from my partner. I have not responded to any of them, so it's one-way communication at the moment. OP commenting on their life. I'm very fortunate to be in a position where I don't need anything from him. I'm financially secure. I have a good job and a good support system. I don't need his financial backing to raise this child. I've texted him asking him to come home so we can just talk. I'm thinking of having a mediator or a neutral party there to avoid things getting out of hand. OP was voted not the a-hole. And we have an update.
Yeah, I mean, I think the more information I'm getting, the more I'm like, you should break up and potentially like, I mean, if you think he could be a good father, if he wants to be involved, I guess you would have to have him be involved. But
yeah,
I don't know if it's a good idea to stay together.
Yeah, like... low-key, it sounds like OP's being soft in that description of her partner probably struggling with some kind of substance abuse issues.
Do we know that?
Because it's like, well, he's got these unhealthy coping strategies and this and that, and it's, I don't know if you can just unhealthily cope with I mean, maybe they're not putting that out there, but it's like, maybe increased aggression, increased whatever.
Yeah,
it's an assumption, but you know,
there's a lot of unhealthy ways to cope.
It looks like Sarah.
That's like
knows
the
OP.
top of unhealthy coping mechanism pyramid. It's usually up there.
No way you know OP, Sarah.
Well, don't out her.
No way.
Don't out her.
Tell us the last names
and social security numbers and the 3 digits on the back of your parents' credit card. We promise.
Yes, thank you.
We're giving you
But we got an update?
An update. So it turns out he's got deep-seated resentment for me, LOL. Here's what he resents me for. Earning more money than him. Being further along in my career than he is. Not losing my job during the vid like he did. Having parents who love and support me. Not being a submissive woman. LOL. Having a present and loving father. Not combining our finances under his control, thus making him feel small. What a catch that guy sounds like. So yeah, just leave him. Leave him behind. Perfect solution. I'm so glad his name's not attached to the baby.
Yeah, but I don't think you can just like, even if they are a deadbeat, if they're not like abusive, but they're just like, I don't know, not contributing as much, I don't think that is enough to cut them completely out of seeing their child.
Oh, not seeing. No, they can see the child.
But I think
I'm just being like,
definitely-
no, do not continue your relationship with this man. Is all I'm saying.
Agreed.
Of course, he can still see the child. On the brighter side, I'm 12 weeks postpartum and already 75 kilograms lighter.
Whoa!
This
Damn,
is
your baby was
this has
70 kilograms.
Editor's note: OP is making a joke about losing the boyfriend.
Oh,
Right. Like, dang, OP, your baby was huge. You gave birth to like, what was the who was the guy? Paul Bunyan.
Paul Bunyan.
Gave birth to Paul Bunyan.
Paul Bunyan is what you first come up with. Dude, I haven't thought about Paul Bunyan in a while.
Oh, it's just a big mountain guy.
Yeah, dude, he's huge.
When I last came here, I said I'd asked him to come home and discuss our future with baby, preferably in the presence of a neutral party. He left me on red for a few days, though I could see he was spying on us through the Ring doorbell and baby's monitor. I disconnected them both, and then he finally responded. He came home still irate. His stance still hadn't changed. He seemed to have been bolstered by the days he spent with his family. He rejected my request for us to do this in the presence of a couples therapist, the best neutral compromise I could offer. I asked him how he proposed we move forward then, and he went on a rant where the above came out. It was a full mask off moment. If there was any part of me that wanted you guys to be wrong about him, it passed away that day. He again rejected the offer to hyphenate baby's surname. Apparently, I'm disrespectful and insolent. Insolent is a crazy word to use to describe your wife.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially when you are the insolent one.
There is no partnership here. Which, funny enough, that's his mother's favorite words to use to scold people she disagrees with. And I am all these things for refusing to do what's right and giving the baby their rightful surname. I told him I won't go through the administrative nightmare of having a different surname to my child, and lots of data shows that a double-barreled surname is social currency that has positive connotations. But he still would not budge. I told him neither would I. Baby either has both our surnames or just mine. He asked if this was a hill I wanted this relationship to pass away on, if I was prepared to throw half a decade down the drain over my silly little feminism. I told him I wasn't sure that was anything left to fight for. We broke up. Thankfully, R in his name lease expires at the end of May. I called my dad and he came to help me pack up baby. X went back to his mom's while we packed. I messaged him to suggest we still need couples counseling, which is true if you want to co-parent because OP sees the light here. And your, blockhead X is trying to turn this into a battle where it's man versus woman. Just raise your kid. We need to learn to be co-parents, and they can help us establish a healthy way of doing that. He again said no to that. My mom wanted to take me and baby on a baby moon holiday after this stressful period, but he would not grant permission for me to take baby abroad. Great. It was at that moment I wished I didn't have him on the birth certificate like some of y'all had accused me of. It's going to be a long road ahead. I've instructed a lawyer to help us set up a formal agreement to avoid this in the future.
Oh, yeah. Finding a way to co-parent, this is going to be tough because he does not sound like someone who is agreeable.
He's not responding to correspondence from the lawyer, so that's fun. He's sulking. Used to do this a lot when things didn't go his way. I hope he'll soon realize I no longer have time for his BS and I won't be toyed with because I called his bluff and ended the relationship. Woo! And I'm pretty sure him just ignoring your lawyer's correspondence, like if he continues to do that, I think a court will just grant you full custody.
Yeah, I actually don't know.
I think what they will interpret if he just remains dead silent on this, they will just interpret that as he's just giving up his rights as a parent. He's just refusing to play ball. He refuses to come to the table. So yeah, we will grant you full custody because he literally doesn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
I think. I gotta
Let
assume.
us know in the chat what you think.
I gotta assume a court wouldn't go, oh, he's just a little boy and he's just so overwhelmed he can't do anything about it.
What if you were, you didn't even you didn't know that your child was born, you wanted to be in its life, but you were stuck in the Amazon for 2 years.
Okay, well that's different. You're not ignoring correspondence then.
Yeah. But he
and
could
I'm saying it's not just this
it.
one time. I'm saying if he continues to just ignore this situation, I'm sure that the courts will then inevitably rule in your favor.
Which is
so I think maybe that might be great.
But he could prove, he could say, oh, I didn't see it, which is why they have.
But that's why it's like you get subpoenas.
That's why you have servers,
right?
Know,
Exactly.
It's like you've been served. So you can't ignore it.
Right. Well, no, you can ignore it, and you just get legal consequences for it.
Yeah.
So to end this on a bright note, the house I wanted us to buy a couple of years ago, which he talked me out of until he was back on his feet again, despite us being able to afford it on my salary alone, is back on the market. I took that as fate. It's time to move on from this man. Yes, it's a beautiful Victorian terrace near good schools, good transport links, a small garden, and it's close to my parents.
Ooh-wee.
A perfect setup. It'd be the perfect home for baby and me. I put in an offer last night. Wish me luck. It's in a chain, so if my offer is accepted, it won't be ours for months. But my parents have allowed baby and I to move into their granny annex for free. Gotta love the village.
This is amazing.
Yes, and there are some relevant comments. Commenter says, he sounds like a horrible person, and he'll probably pass down his horrible ideologies of women and relationships to your child.
Yeah, he's really... Yeah, that's the thing that sucks about raising like a child with someone that you just fundamentally disagree with, is like, this guy is going to pass on his toxic red pill behavior.
Yeah, again,
he's going to be like, baby, I know Coco Melon seems pretty cool, but have you heard of the red pill wormhole?
No, he's gonna be. I heard Coco Melon was cool, but have you ever watched Caillou?
Caillou's the most red pill bald kid
red
everywhere.
pill Caillou.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, that kid gets what he wants or nothing. I don't know you or him. No offense, and that relationship, but is co-parenting even worth it? Yeah, and I just have my fingers crossed that this guy's going to continue to make himself a non-issue or like completely absent from the process. But I bet his mom will be like, "No, you have to." He sounds like he's being ruled by mom here.
But I mean, not only wooed by, I think he's like his mom is toxic and his family is toxic, and also he is brushing up on his toxicity.
Yeah, he
is toxic all around.
In the toxicity gym, pumping iron.
Oh, that sucks, dude. Ugh.
So OP says, I mean, he hasn't asked to see the baby since we broke up. So to be honest, I don't think I'll have to do much co-parenting with him. We have a second update, which is 3.5 months later from the original post.
Oh, whoa. I'm hoping OP has dropped some dead weight or has made her husband have like a little bit more limited.
Do you remember the trigger warning?
Remember the trigger warning?
Oh, no. 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 No.
Because I also forgot about the trigger warning until I saw that first line.
Me too.
No.
I also forgot about the trigger warning.
I forgot about the trigger warning.
Hey, do you want to remind the viewers what the trigger warning is? Because if they came late.
The trigger warning is death.
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 Well, he's passed away. He passed away a week after my last update. Okay.
Makes co-parenting easier.
Everything we said still kind of stands, though.
That's...
Well,
oh.
maybe that's why he was ignoring the correspondence.
Oh.
Oh, there's so many jokes I want to make.
Oh.
Full-throated, but I can't make them.
No.
It's okay. It's even those guys. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. It's a little sad. It can be sad. It's confusing at the very least. At the very least, it's confusing.
It could be frustrating.
Oh.
I wonder how it happened. His funeral was last month, and it's been a nightmare. He heard from a mutual friend that I'd put an offer in on the house and came to my parents where baby and I were staying in a wasted rage. It was late after 10 and he was causing a ruckus and disturbing the neighbors. He wouldn't leave and kept hurling nasty things at me, how I was keeping his baby from him despite him making zero effort to see him after we separated, how I robbed him of his legacy, how I couldn't wait to get rid of him, and how much he hated me. He went from begging to pleading to cursing me out and trying to break down my parents' door to then crying. I opened a window and told him to leave or we'd call the police. He refused. So we called the police. He ran away. I'm still not sure on the details because his family won't tell me, but I gather he was trying to cross a busy road with the awareness of a wasted, angry man and got hit by a car.
Oh.
He passed away before the ambulance arrived.
Oh.
I found out when his mother called screaming down the phone, crying about how I'd unalived him. She blames me. Even at his funeral, she made sure to tell people how I was to blame for her baby boy's untimely death. Which, hey, you know what? Grieving mother, can't really blame her. I feel like maybe a lot of that could actually be directed back at her for sort of enabling and amplifying some of these thoughts or behaviors he was having about his ex and the child and what he deserves and what he wants. Really, mom should have just been telling him to go get a job, but I digress.
Ugh.
I know it's not my fault. Rationally and logically, I did not tell him to make the series of bad decisions that led to his passing, but I still feel guilty. Of course you do. You got a heart. And it's a complicated, very confusing situation. His mother tried to claim his life insurance that I paid for. She said he'd told her he'd changed it for her to be the beneficiary. I don't really know how true it is, but I refused and told her the purpose was to help set baby up for life if one or both of us met an untimely passing. So that's what it will do. She threatened to sue me, but I don't know where that will lead. What a horrific woman to... The last thing that her son could do maybe is that the life insurance policy he had will provide for his child. And she's going to sue for that? She's literally despicable. I spit on her. I know that's maybe a little rough, but that's how I feel about that. Can't see that that's for your grandchild?
I mean, he literally like didn't he intend for that to go to his grandchild?
It sounds like it. And now mom, again, so that's... I feel very vindicated in my statement that mom was very much a toxic, like, coach in his corner.
I mean, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah.
You definitely know the influences.
But I would never spit on you for listening to full episodes with stories just like this.
No way you
no,
just did that.
We're not going to use that.
No,
I just had to
use
use
it.
it.
Use it.
All right.
Just go to Spotify or iHeartRadio or Apple Podcasts and search up OK Storytime. And you can listen to almost 2,500 episodes. And boy, oh boy, until your ears fall off. Need a little levity there, people. Just a little. Anyway, we're at the end of the story. Let's go. I think we've spoken our piece.
Yeah, we've spoken our piece. Let's hit this end.
I am exhausted. I am tired and I'm grieving and I'm being told I have no right to mourn him. We got the house, but it won't. Wait, we got the house.
That's a win.
Nice.
We
got the house.
Something good can happen.
We got the house, but it won't be ready until late September. His mother tried to claim a share of that too, even though her son made no contributions to it. They've made no efforts to see baby and refused to let me visit the funeral parlor with them to say goodbye to their dad. I'm drained. I was supposed to go back to work soon, but thankfully my employer is understanding. We've booked a trip out of the country while we wait for the house's completion. I have been the target of a campaign from my ex's family who are calling me all sorts of nonsensical things. And and
that's where it ends.
Have a paper trail of the evidence of their harassment of you so that you can then give them legal consequences for it.
Yeah.
I know it's exhausting. Could probably the best move is just get out of town, enjoy your baby, enjoy your family.
But yeah, no, I mean, that is a incredibly rough situation. I'm sorry you had to go through that, OP, but I feel like life is going to get better from this point out.
Yes, upswing. We can always upswing. And it's a terrible thing to happen, but like, it's it could be for the best.
Yeah.
I don't wish anyone's passing.
No.
But this guy, what if this guy has tendencies that could very well lead to abuse.
Destructive tendencies.
Right.
Yeah. That could, even if unintentional, could hurt the child.
Let me be clear.
This guy's passing away.
I do not wish the passing of any of these people, but life is mysterious.
But that is where that story ends and this episode. So if you we really ended on a rough note.
Yeah.
Well, ended on a rough note.
Now they got the house. It's upswing.
Yeah,
Grief is complicated.
Upswing.
You're going to be in a better place.
But that is where this story and episode ends. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.